Welcome to the Rapid 2X Holidays Edition live workshop. We'll get started as soon as you start joining. Head over to webinar chat and just introduce yourself. And we'll get started in about exactly on time at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Hey Dan, how you doing, man? Dan, you're exactly on time. I know I cannot hear you. This is a webinar setup. So yeah, just head over. Anyone that has joined, just head over to the webinar chat. Just introduce yourself. As you're joining, just head over to the webinar chat and introduce yourselves. We're just a bit early here, just to make sure that we can get started on time. We have a very exciting panel that's joining us today. So definitely head over to webinar chat and introduce yourselves. Highly recommended for everyone. Make sure, and if you have attended any of my prior live workshops, these two pieces of tool are a must-have. So have a pen and have your notebook ready. So take lots of notes. This is going to be a power jam. You know, you have seen the live workshops we have done and how much value we bring during those panels. I mean, during those workshops. And today, imagine the live workshop with 7 of me. So there will be quite a lot of great, amazing expert panels that with our goal that we deliver over the next, over the span of this this workshop, we will deliver tremendous amount of value to each and every one of you. We will start. If this is a little bit early, we're like, you guys are showing up a little bit early, so definitely head over to the webinar chat, introduce yourself, tell us your name and where are you connecting from and where you are in your e-com journey, so that we can get started. Hi, Catherine. How you doing? Canadian Girl Dolls in Canada. Yep. And by the way, Catherine, super excited to have you launch that project, and looking forward to seeing you in Rapid 2X. Catherine is our new Rapid 2Xer starting on November 4th. So that's very, very exciting. All right. I'm doing some housekeeping here. So if you don't see me talking, that's what I'm doing here, making sure that all of our panelists are getting in properly, and so that we can get started on time. Let's see, invitations. Oh, okay. All right, Parik, thank you for being here. Sam is good to go. Please ask him to look for the email. I did .co. That was his previous email, so that's why. Very cool. Hey, Ed. Today is a very exciting day. It's so exciting that I actually decided to dress up. You know, if you have attended my other live workshops, you see me in my usually iconic black top with a with my jeans. That's how I do my. Hey, Will, how you doing? Welcome to the Rapid 2X live workshop, holidays edition, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, 2X sales. Hey Sam, how you doing?
Good. Are we live?
We are live. We're getting attendees coming in. So we are. You know, if you open up the webinar chat, you can see there's a lot of excitement already there. You know, I've introduced you to the people who have attended so far. That you know, usually they see one of me. Now they're going to see 7 of me. You know, people very talented in their respective areas. So we're going to deliver a ton of value to everybody that's attending here, and I'm super excited to have everyone coming in. Hey Dan, very smooth, yeah. Yeah, usually you see a little bit of a scruffy face and stuff like that, you know. Yeah, I did decide to dress up. I wish I had as much beard as Will does here, you know. I would look very different with a beard, but no beard today.
Can you grow a beard?
No, very little, spotty, like right here, and then maybe like one of those 1970s style type thing, but then empty here, you know. But I think I look good this way. What do you guys think? Catherine, Dan, Ed, I look better this way, right? Nice and clean shaved, you know, everything. This is my look. This is my trademark. Hi, Ed. Welcome to the to the live workshop, holidays edition. Super excited to have you guys here. We will get started as soon as all of our panelists show. We have a power-packed live workshop today with a goal that you know, just make sure, like I always do, these two are your best weapons for this session. Take lots of notes, and as we are talking, definitely also plug in questions. This is a very interactive live workshop. We want everybody to walk away with a tremendous amount of you know, value here, so that you guys take it and start implementing it and stuff like that. Parik may want to jump in. Thank you, Catherine. I don't know about that, you know. Nobody, Catherine, this is what because Gary V and I have been business partners. Gary V, I made that comment that nobody hires me for my looks, right? He said, neither me, my friend, you know. So nobody hires us for our looks. It's our talent that we bring to growing e-com businesses and digital media businesses, and that's why they. Hi, Phoenix.
Hello.
How you doing? Super exciting day. Thank you for joining us.
Happy to.
I promised 7 of me in this panel today, so we have a ton of value. And as you can see, this is not usually, you don't see me like this. So this is me dressed up and nice and clean shaved, you know.
Good for you, man. Hi, Sam.
Hey, Phoenix, how are you?
Doing well.
I
Long
don't know
time.
if you know Will. Will is I'm going to intro everybody. He's CRO, you know.
Hey, Will.
Hello.
Everyone else attending, welcome to the live workshop. Super exciting panel today. We're gonna deliver a ton of value. Definitely get your notebook on the side as we talk and as we share. You know, definitely take lots and lots of notes. And if anything is not clear or anything, definitely you know what to do. Go into the webinar chat, just plug in your question in there, and we will. You know, this is an interactive live workshop. So, and whoever has attended, because I see some faces and some names from prior, you know, live workshops we have done, you know that how much of a value we deliver during these live workshops. So this is not Netflix and chill. So make sure you take lots of notes and you know, ask a lot of questions, because this is a power-packed you know, group of people here. Parig, if you could reach out to any of the other panelists that have not joined yet, to make sure that they join, so that we can get started and we can get the ball rolling with this. I think
we're just missing Elliott, I think.
Yeah.
I just sent him a message about 2 minutes ago. Let's just make sure to shame him when he joins. Okay, for being 2 minutes late, right?
Yep.
You can't be getting away with that, right?
Listen, you can't be late to these workshops. You can't do that, man. I was 10 minutes early. And some of our attendees, I want to give credit to them. Some of our attendees, as soon as I joined, they were in. They were in. Everybody's ready to learn, you know, so we can't be late. You know, can't be a host and be late.
He's here. He must have heard us.
Elliott, shame on you.
Elliott, Will has been here complaining about you being late, just so you know. Right?
Yeah. We were all here, man, and our attendees were here. We're ready to start. So let's get I think we're good to start, Parig, right?
Yeah, we're good to get into it. Yeah, fantastic.
Right. And any of the host stuff, please, you know, Parig, if you could, you know, address it if there is any need for it. I don't think there is, because the Zoom webinars, we should be good. So kind of the rules of the engagement for everybody. One of the things that I've said to all of the panelists, right? We have to deliver high value, and each and every person is going to deliver a power-packed, you know, a recommendation that you could take and implement it in your e-com DTC sites, so that you can see amazing results from it. So, and we have one participant that couldn't be here today, right? But we have asked them to, and that's Sean McCarthy from Lucky Orange. They have recorded. They couldn't be here because they had another live event going on at the same time, right? But they were gracious enough to actually record their recommendation from Lucky Orange's perspective, and we will be getting that started. So the rules of engagement, as far as the attendees go, please head over to the webinar chat just to make sure that you can, you know, that is working for you, and make, you know, and you have set it up to everyone, the to field to everyone, so that you are posting your questions in there. So please introduce yourself, first of all, who you are, what's your e-com brand, and where are you connecting from. Love to see that. We have in our programs, we have people from all over the world. So this is not isolated to like the US audience or anything like that. We have folks from Netherlands, Canada, Denmark, Norway, Australia. I think even, oh yeah, there you go. Someone from Bali also has joined. So this is a pretty global event, and it's pretty power-packed. So with that, what I would love to do is I want to just quickly go around and introduce folks. Starting from the top on my screen here, I have Will Laurenson from Customers Who Click, conversion rate optimization, expert guru, phenomenal. He's going to hit everything related to CRO. We have Sam Piliero from the Moonlighters. His superpowers are paid media ads, and he has done a phenomenal job across the board with his clients and stuff like that, and a lot of folks from our Rapid 2X program also. We have Phoenix Ha, the founder of Ad Beacon. So when you look at your numbers and ROAS, results that are coming from Facebook ads and Meta ads and Google ads and stuff like that, and you think that's the truth, you need a third-party attribution platform like AdBeacon to actually tell you the truth and tell you where you need to make adjustments. Otherwise, you're making adjustments in the wrong places. So Phoenix HUD, welcome here. Parik Jordan is my head of growth, a phenomenal guy. If you have engaged with us to learn more about the Rapid 2X program, you have definitely come across him, and he is very active in the community also, and engaging with our community and everyone else. Elliott Kovac runs the dispatch agency. His superpower, email marketing, right? And Lucky Orange, who's not here, Sean McCarthy, they focus on heat maps and optimizing consumer behavior on your site. So I will definitely play their video that they have submitted for this session at some point today. Now on the attendee side, you guys are, I want you guys to be as active as possible. So if you have not introduced yourself, definitely head over and introduce yourself, and also tell us the brand you're running on and any kind of challenges that you're facing. And as every panelist shares their expertise, right? And what to do this holiday season. So we're not recycling anything from the old. We're talking about, this is a live workshop, October 23rd, 2024 at 12:07 p.m. So this is a live show. This is not a recording. So make sure you listen, interact, ask questions, right? And you'll be surprised that if you ask the question, somebody else may have had a similar kind of question and they may have been shy about it. So don't be shy. Definitely share, and let's 2x your ecom businesses during this live workshop. With that, I would like to start with, because I'm the host, I'm gonna go last, and I'm gonna give you my recommendation at the very last. So make sure that you stay tuned, get yourself a coffee, water. I hope that you already had your bio break, because you don't want to miss a second of this live workshop. With that, I would like to hand off the mic to Phoenix Ha, the founder of AdBeacon. So let's get started with those attributions.
Hey guys, how are you? I hope everyone's doing well and excited for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and what's to come. I'm a big proponent of never making decisions off of data you can't prove, which is really what attribution is all about. There's like a really scary word about attribution, what it means, and what it comes down to. Hi, Asia, Andy, they also use AdBeacon. What it really comes down to is who gets credit for a sale within a given amount of time. And if you know which channel gets the credit and how much credit it gets, then you start to allocate budgets in the right direction alongside Sabir, alongside what you're doing here. And our number one goal is just to show you a clear picture of that, unbiased. Our thing is like, look, Google is constantly telling you that they're making you a bunch of money. Meta is telling you they're making you a bunch of money. Everyone is telling you they're making a bunch of money. And then you go to your Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce store, and you're like, I'm not making money. I hate this. So our number one goal is to stitch everything back together and then provide you insights. I think the easiest low-hanging fruit right now, in my opinion, is going to be segments and RFM, which I know that is very much in line with what Sabir believes in as well. And what I mean by RFM is it's just basically a scoring system of your current demo or your current customer base. Scores being by how recent they bought from you, how frequent they buy from you, and how much they bought from you. Peak, which is what we call Black Friday, Cyber Monday, is all about grabbing people at the lowest cost possible. Some people want to go all out and spend all this money. That's fine too, but I'm a little more conservative. So you want to drive traffic leading up to peak, then during peak, try to get them. And then after, right, you try to recover. So how do you use those segments to re-engage with people who already want to buy from you without paying so much money for them again? So I think RFM is a really great way for you to go about it. We do that in our platform and create audiences that directly sync for targeting. But I think that's really low-hanging fruit. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about in terms of attribution is like, if you're pressing buttons and if you want to spend more money in certain sections, you need to be able to prove it. So that's my number one heartbeat, is to be able to show the full customer journey, make sure that a first name and last name is attached to every dollar that's being tracked. So you feel confident with where your money's going to, because you can't just spend money for the sake of spending money right now. Like with the economy, with everything that's going on, you need to be conservative, but you also need to grow your business. So those are some key things I just wanted to talk about really quick while I hand over the mic to somebody else, but those are my main areas of interest for BFCM.
No, let's just jump into it, Phoenix.
Okay, cool. Do you want me to share my screen? I can share my screen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, awesome. Now, is everybody here familiar with RFM? I'm going to pretend everyone says yes, because I just talked about this. No, no problem. So let me go ahead and pull up what RFM means, and let me show you how, oh, I see some plus symbols. So let me go ahead and share my screen really quick and use an example. Oh, it says I'm disabled from sharing my screen.
It should be good.
All right, well, I'm a visual person, so for those of you who said no, this is a perfect opportunity. Yeah, it's still not letting me. There we go. Awesome.
Yeah, sorry
So
about that.
I'll use this client as an example. We're able to take all of your customer data here, and we're able to see recency, frequency, and monetary, and understand the percentage in which each person sits. So for example, 21% for this client are potential loyalists that have a score of a 3 to 5 in recency, a 1 to 3 in frequency, and 1 to 3 in monetary. What does that mean? It's a lot of words. It just means that they are gold. They're potential to be your best customers. So how do you re-engage with them leading up to peak to get them to become champions, in which there's only 17%? So you want to move these up to here. How do you do that? Upsell deals. You do that with knowing what they're most likely going to buy next, which we're able to show you. And then you showcase that, whether it be in your paid advertising or your email and SMS. I'm a big fan of email and SMS because I think it's just low-hanging fruit. It's easy. I love paid media, don't get me wrong, but that's usually to acquire new customers, right? And during this time, this is like the low-hanging fruit time. How do you get people to come back and think about you? So because we have this, we have an audience section that says, okay, I only want to talk to my loyal or potential loyalists. We create that audience and we directly integrate it with Meta, Google, etc. And you can actually talk to them directly with whatever offer, or you can put that into like a list for Klaviyo or, whichever platform that you use. Again, low hanging fruit. The next thing
Phoenix,
too.
let me just interject. Let's give them an amazing golden gem here, right? Related to RFM, right? Recency, frequency, monetary value.
Yeah.
What I see in rapid 2Xers, and I've been doing this for 25 years, and I can tell you even year to date, this year, the pattern has not changed, and the pattern is and you've heard me talk about this, frequency of one hit wonders. So Las Ketchup song, Macarena, you know those songs, they were one hit wonders, all of this, that was me dancing or trying to dance. But one hit wonders tends to be, for a lot of Shopify owners, tends to be anywhere from 60 to 80% of their CRM is one hit wonders. And if you are not managing the RFM and don't understand the RFM score in your database, right? What happens is then you're buying transactions from Meta ads and Google ads, or even other channels too. And they come in, they make that one purchase. And we were actually analyzing, I don't know if it was Asia and Andy that we were spending time on, right? That when we analyzed the data behind it, the cost per acquisition was like $150. The average order from those ads was $88. And most of the database was one hit wonders, meaning that they bought it. There's no, unless you actively work on second purchase, third purchase, and so on, what happens? That's a negative relationship. That's a negative relationship in your database, and that ends up hurting you. This is why you have to really pay, for all the attendees, you have to really pay attention to the RFM. Especially the biggest enemy there is the one-hit wonder customers.
Exactly. And look, I just switched over to another client. I have permissions with all these clients, just a heads up, but there's at risk, which has low scores too, which these people would potentially churn. That's 25% of their business. So if you don't know that, how do you talk to them directly and go, wait a minute, come back. There's all these offers, all these things. And you also don't want the one-hit wonders. The at risks are worth re-engaging. The lost are not. So exclude them in your marketing. Don't talk to people who don't want to buy from you again. And that's really important. The second component that I think is really important, and it'll go down to attribution, is the product's journey. And this is going to tell you by lifetime value. So, for example, if I know someone wants to buy this, let's just say you know your business best, right? You know that people love to buy a specific SKU. I'm going to go for the Skate Forever Standard, which is a t-shirt. I want to know how long it takes for someone to buy this product and then what they're going to buy next. So again, how do I make that potential loyalist or the at-risk a champion? This is how you show them what they're most likely going to buy next. So you see here that it takes 31 days from the first touch to first purchase of this, and it takes them 14 days from first purchase to second purchase of this SKU, and then so on. But to take it up a notch, because all we care about is lifetime value, we want them to sustain you for the rest of the year. We don't want them to sustain you for a season. You want the year, right? So you give them what they want to increase that lifetime value over time. So you see that people who buy the Skate Forever Standard, this is their lifetime value from 30 days to 60 days to 90 days. And your lifetime value might be higher for one product versus another product. So again, this is the way you strategically target and strategically upsell, which then at my very last point before I hand it over to people is going to be the optimized section. So now, right, if you know for a fact that that specific t-shirt is going to drive higher lifetime value, go into your ad account, start to optimize and say, okay, this product launch or this ASC campaign or this specific campaign, what are people actually buying? And if you find out that they're buying lower LTV products, then how do you shift that to really focus on higher LTV products? And then in this situation, you know that they're buying they are buying specific tees here. If that's the case, optimize your landing pages again, so then you can upsell them down the road. Now that you know exactly what they're buying, you can allocate spend towards your campaigns that drive higher lifetime value in the end and also higher sell-through. And then your cost per acquisition is a different conversation than just your initial CPA. So again, these are really easy wins, in my opinion, for Black Friday, Cyber Monday without overwhelming anybody. But attribution is far deeper than just proving a sale. It goes far more in depth to RFM, to product journey analysis, and then to optimization of data you can prove. I hope that was helpful.
Yeah, one other thing I would like to add on this screen here is that when this data, when you come across this data, one other thing you could do from a, one of the AD method dimensions has to do with pricing and product positioning, right? When you look at that data, that should also give you opportunities where you know that things are being bought together. You could actually do a strategic pricing by creating a bundle of those products, so that you're not telling them you may also like. That's such a old tactic to do. Like, it's good to have, right? But you should actually bundle them and price them intelligently so that they're buying two of them. So if you're selling a shampoo, right? In this example, like if they're selling a shampoo, put the conditioner to go with it, right? And if they buy those two things together, give them some sort of a discount into it, like 10% or 15%. But you're saying that if you buy it individually, it will be $30, but you can sell it for 28 or something like that. But now you're getting even more product adoption, and you could find this sort of an intelligence gives me that next to do, not just showing it to them in an email, which we will get to Elliott, when we get there, or doing dynamic ads with Sam, when it comes to paid media and stuff like that. There are so many takeaways. That's why I think starting this off with you from an attribution, and especially at Beacon-like platform, is phenomenal, right? That gives you that sort of intelligence that goes even beyond attribution. It gives you a lot of product intelligence and other business intelligence that you should not just look at it passively, but actually make it very actionable and drive different types of features as well as strategic bundles and other types of things in your business. Not just passively look at it and go like, oh, that's interesting that these things are being bought. There's action that needs to be taken from that.
Absolutely. So, the immediate bundle is one idea. Another case study of this is we had a client that, we were showcasing one t-shirt and it was not selling. That t-shirt was not selling. However, it was driving revenue. And the question is, okay, if it's driving revenue, to what? And if we tell you, well, actually it's driving revenue to these hats, then you're going to optimize your landing page on the CRO front for those hats, create a bundle deal, make it a frictionless experience. The last thing I will say, and I'll really end it on my end, is just a really fun strategic way of going about peak. And you might not be wanting to heavily promote right now leading up to Black Friday, Cyber Monday. You might want the actual promotion to be that weekend, but how are you going to consistently take inventory in someone's mind that they think of your brand rather than someone else's brand? Because that's all the game is that they remember you to go to your site to go buy. So a really easy low-hanging fruit thing that I've noticed people do is you send them to a landing page and then you start to ask them questions before they sign up for your newsletter. What are you most interested in? Are you interested in t-shirts? Are you interested in football? You ask them these questionnaires. So then when it comes time for the actual sales, you re-engage with them with products they want to buy, and it's a higher sell-through. Okay, so just some things to take note of. Low-hanging fruit. That's all this is about. And I hope this was helpful. Is there anything else questions-wise before I hand this over?
No, what I'll do is I'll add on and then I'll move to the next expert. And thank you, Phoenix. Just a couple of things that I want to add on to what Phoenix said, right? Retargeting and segmentation is important, and meeting the consumer on where they are in their journey will give you the highest return on your investment, the highest, right? And whether that's retargeting them through email, SMS, or doing it through paid media or any other mechanisms, right? Or even direct marketing, it's meeting them where they are in their journey with you. And number two is an actual stat, right? If you're a digitally native brand, and most of you are, unless your product is also distributed through retail chain and Main Street and stuff like that, right? There has never been in human history that if you see a piece of ad, even as consumers, right? You're so enamored with it. You're so blown away. Go like, I'm going to go buy this thing right on that first impression. That never happens. So don't expect that from consumers. So the retargeting part of it that Phoenix is talking about, right? You have to get 7 to 10 impressions of your brand and the product they're interested in order for them to re-engage with you, right? And this is why when you have to think about, from a retargeting perspective, you have to think about reach and frequency, that you have to hit that frequency of 7 to 10 times in order for them to, and that frequency needs to increase when you get to like Black Friday, because there's a lot of other noise coming at this consumer, right? So that's one of the additional add-on golden gem that I would like to add to what Phoenix said. Thank you, Phoenix. That was phenomenal.
Thank you. I'm glad to help. Have fun.
Next at bat. Let's go with another golden gem here. Sam Piliero from Moonlighters, and the focus is on paid media ads.
All right.
Let's roll.
Thanks, Sabir. Everyone could hear me okay? We're all good?
All good.
All right, sweet. So I am going to screen share the whole time. Basically, what I'm going to show you guys is a tidied up version of what I put together for my team and what my team and I have kind of crafted to the brands and for the brands that we work with. This is essentially the structure that we're using specifically for Facebook ads for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. What I'm going to show you, you can screenshot, but don't build this out all in one. I really want to put a huge warning on this right away, because if you do build this out basically straight up, you're going to have problems. So I'm going to give all the little caveats away within this. And then I'm also going to share specifically the creative inspiration that we're using just for like placeholders. I'll also share it with the whole group too. So let's go. All right. Everyone should see a
all good
Miro board here. Sweet. So what we have here is a specific meta ad structure that is not necessarily just the only structure in your account. So when we think about what is most important when we create ads specifically for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the holiday period, we're not necessarily setting up to ruin everything you've done all year long. We're not trying to completely throw out all your old campaigns. We're really set up to make a second structure that has a short time frame associated to it, that's on a schedule based on your promotions, that doesn't interfere with anything you've done already. So this is the most complex, kind of the most built out, expanded structure that I would launch for big brands that are running, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars during this period, depending on how long their sale is. I'm going to break this down, and then I'm going to give you each caveat depending on how much you're spending, kind of where you're at right now. So first, let's get a little marker in here. Like in red today. Okay. So first things first, we have our Advantage Plus campaign. So I like to label everything BFCM for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Our Advantage Plus campaign is meant to be our main scaling mechanism. What's in this campaign are literally all your Black Friday, Cyber Monday ads, specifically those focused on selling. The second campaign is a Black Friday, Cyber Monday prospecting campaign. This is set up as a CBO campaign. That's very, very important here. We're not messing around with ABO. We're not testing anything new in Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We are very, very strictly doing what's worked the best for us all year long, potentially over the last 2 years, and we're leveraging it in the most important time of the year. So within this prospecting campaign, set up as a CBO, we have a variety of different ad sets. I'm always going to recommend one broad ad set with all your creative in it. And then I'm going to recommend 2 to 3 interest-based ad sets based on the interests that have worked the best for you. So that's like the really important part here is I can't say, you know, if you're a shoe brand, you should run Nike, or if you're a makeup brand, you should run Glossier. What you definitely should do is look at actually what's worked in your Facebook account and run that exact single interest, not a pack of interests, the single interest that works the best. If you do that, you are essentially putting yourself in a position where you're not playing any guesswork. There should be no kind of testing going on during this period. You're putting your best creatives specifically for this promotion where conversion rate should be the highest, and you're sending them to your most profitable audiences for the year. Now, there's one important part here. You don't set interests, A, stacked together, which I already mentioned, and B, you don't select the interest based just on return on ad spend. You select the interest based on what has worked the best at scale. So generally speaking, what I would do is I would go into my ad account and I would literally look at, you know, the big, all the different ad sets across, and I would only really be paying attention to the top 3 or 4, the ones that actually attributed somewhere around 50% plus of the total spend, right? That group of 3 to 4 probably were accounting for somewhere in the 50% range of spend. I don't care if something spent $100 and got you a 25 return on ad spend one time. Those are bottom feeders. They're not going to scale. They haven't proven, right? So we're not taking guesses. I really am trying to emphasize that. The third campaign, moving on to retargeting here, is our primary retargeting campaign. Very simply put, Black Friday, Cyber Monday / your holiday promotional period is the best time of the year to actually capture people who were on the fence and thinking about purchasing from you. Now, people who purchase on promotions are generally not the best lifetime customers, right? To Sabir's point, they might be one-hit wonders, but what they absolutely are is they have cash ready to be made, right? So if you're a profitable business and every customer you acquire is profitable, this is a really, really good opportunity to hit those recent site visitors and people who recently abandoned checkout over certain periods of time, which I'll get into, and capture them. Now, what we have here is site visitors 30 days. This is basically just very straightforward. Anyone who's visited your site over the last 30 days, we want to target. You're not setting any exclusions on this. So I don't care if they've purchased 35 times from you. I know it sounds silly, but the reason for this is because during this one single period of the year, we don't care where the purchase goes. We don't care if it's in ASC. We don't care if it's in retention, prospecting, so on. We only care that we get the purchase. So what we don't want to do is create any limiting factors in our ad account. So site visitors 30 days. It's the most basic, fundamental retargeting ad set that you can have. Second, I'm generally recommending an add to cart and checkout 90 days. So someone who's reached checkout or added a product to cart within a 90-day period, they should be targeted in a second audience. An ideal scenario is this site visitors is probably 2 to 3 times bigger. So site visitors 30 days is usually about 2 to 3 times bigger than your add to cart in 90 days. That will favor the spend naturally to site visitors because there's more reach there. And it'll also probably result in a slightly higher add to cart return on ad spend. So both of these are just staples. Now, if you run a unique business, which everyone here does in some way, shape, or form, you probably know your customer's buying cycle. You know that there's nuances to this. What I'm giving is the most cookie cutter, this is what I would want to do. But just keep in mind, maybe you find out that there's a 41-day purchasing cycle on your business, right? You then, or a 41-day consideration phase. You might want to have site visitors 42 days, right? There's so many caveats to this, but these are just the basic fundamentals that are so critical, specifically related to structure. After retargeting, we have retention. Retention is very different from retargeting in the sense that retention means they have transacted from you. They have handed over dollars. It doesn't mean they said they were going to buy. It doesn't mean that they think they're going to buy or they're going to buy in the future or they're anything along those lines. They have literally purchased, they've handed dollars and cents over to you. They've transacted with you. That is what we define in the retention cohort. And for us, the two things that we're most focused on is a very large purchase 180-day group. That's going to be using your Facebook pixel, and it's going to be using your CRM, which we'll let Elliott pass over to that in one of these days. And then we're also going to hit our purchasers all time, which is going to be using absolutely your CRM. So if you're using Klaviyo, if you're using SendLane, actually, if you're using AdBeacon as well, you're able to port over individual user IDs into Facebook itself. And of course, target the people properly. So the breakdowns we have here are meant for the most kind of complicated, most advanced structure that we could have, right? So we're really, really focused on scaling with these two campaigns here. Excuse my now messy workshop here. And we are really focused on cash cow with retention and retargeting, right? So retention, we just want people to purchase, whether it's their second time or their 45th time. We want to let them know loud and clear that we have a sale going on. This is what we should set up. In terms of retargeting, we just want to get people over the hump to get them to purchase for the first time. If your product is good, it won't matter if you're a promotional brand. And this is the only time of the year, truly the only time of the year, where even if you're a luxury brand, you can still promote and completely get away with it. And you won't tarnish your brand reputation. I understand this is super packed in terms of there's like probably 100 questions going on. Everyone's probably looking in their own ad accounts possibly right now. And I'm sure everyone has a slightly different opinion or different, nuance going on. This is just the core of things, right? I love sports references. I won't hit them too hard here, but this is just like hitting the square on a layup in basketball. So what we really want to focus on
even I didn't understand that.
Yeah, exactly. They go over but the important part is just the structures to your business in these buckets. Now, if you're just starting, right? If you're just starting or you have
before you continue, Sam,
yes.
I have two questions that came up. One
Certainly.
From Ari. Ari is asking, retargeting is ABO or CBO? What are your thoughts?
CBO. Everything here is CBO.
Okay. And Itar says, do you exclude the purchased 180-day from add to cart checkout 90 days?
You do not exclude from here. I'm sorry. Yes, you do exclude. You exclude from here and you exclude from here. This purchase 180 days gets excluded. Yes.
And how often, I strongly believe in exclusions, right? As you're optimizing your ads, right?
Mm-hmm.
How often should you be excluding and where do you get those signals so that you can start continuously exclude? And how often should we do it so that we don't run into any kind of learning phase or anything like that during this critical time?
Yeah, so great question. I think that because in these cases, everything I'm prescribing here is pixel and or an integration with Meta. So you're actually not resetting anything. So it's an ideal scenario. We take that 180-day purchasers pixel group and we exclude that from the add to cart and checkout 90 days. That puts us in a situation where it's going to update automatically in the background every single time there's a new person added to that list. There's no relearning necessarily happening. It's ideal.
And what about your thoughts on creative optimization, changing things out as you're learning, right? During this period, and also budget optimization.
Yeah, so I'm going to get into creative, as you could see from the little hint on the bottom of my screen.
All right, there you go. So it was a good transition.
But yes, but I'm
a good host.
I appreciate it, Sabir. I will touch on budget here for a second for how my expectations to start, but I want to share what I think is really important for people who are kind of maybe this is your first Black Friday or the first one you're going to go, hard in potentially, or maybe you've done this 4 or 5 times and it hasn't hit the way you wanted to. So here are the things that I want to keep in mind. When you think about Facebook structures, while this is the full build, when we look at BFCM as the ASC campaign, if you're spending $100 a day, I literally want you to cut all this out and just run this, right? It's okay, right? It's completely okay. The other variation of this, if you know interests work well for you, potentially run your ASC and only run a prospecting campaign with 1 or 2 interests in them, right? There's pieces you could pick apart from this. If you're spending $30, $40, $50, $100,000 over the course of the promotional period, and your promotional period isn't just the Friday through the Monday, then you have more opportunity to expand. So just keep that in mind. If you have a small budget, it will get spread way too thin if you have 4 campaigns with a variety of ad sets here. If you have more budget, of course, it opens up, different opportunities. Regarding actual budget allocation, the most simple way to think about this is ASC and prospecting should be a 50-50 split, which should represent about 80% of your total. Simply put, it's not perfect. So we would go 40, we would go 40, and then we would go 10 and 10. Retargeting and retention over the course of the sale should be managed on frequency. Frequency is how many times did someone see an ad? You could look at it. It's a column default in your ads manager. It's literally right here. Average number of times each account center account saw your ad. Pay attention to it. Generally speaking, don't let it get over 7 on a 5 to 7 day look. Doesn't need to be perfect. AdBeacon has better insights on that, but generally speaking, 7 over 7 is a good benchmark.
I mean, it goes back to what I said earlier about that
Mhm.
frequency of retargeting being between 7 to 10, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you just have to follow that. This applies here quite a lot,
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to cruise through creative a little quickly here. So one of the things that we've noticed amongst the clients that we work with specifically, we only work with e-commerce brands, and usually those brands are between $1 and $10 million in annual revenue. And what we notice is that a lot of these brands struggle with creative concepts. So we often come to them with new creative concepts, things that we want from them. But specific to Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we didn't get the best round until a few weeks ago. And basically, what we've done here is just put together a light creative inspiration touch that you could really steal from. So these are top direct consumer e-commerce brands in the market right now. These ad previews are stolen from Facebook ad library and Motion. Basically, we're able to look at what everyone else is doing in the market. It's free. Everyone can look at what everyone's doing. What we're mostly paying attention to are what ads are running the longest and what are most specifically going to work based on literally our creative eye for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So I broke this down into 2 categories. We have quality statics and we have ugly ads. Quality statics look good. They feel good. You get them and you almost receive some sort of like dopamine hit when you see this ad. It's so straight up. It's so in your face. It's good. Same thing here with like true classic. You know what's happening here right away. This is a BOGO right off the bat. The really core thing that I want to get out here is that you have to be very bold in the 4th quarter. Now, these aren't sale ads. These are not Black Friday ads, but what these are ads that really, really quickly showcase a bold title. So take the rainy day dog walker, right? Imagine if you had this exact ad, and instead of saying the rainy day dog walker, you just said Black Friday, 30% off site-wide, something like that, right? There's 100,000 variations of this, but the general purpose is that you have big, bold text on the image, which if everyone remembers, you actually weren't even allowed to do about a year ago on Facebook. It's going to be a huge text on image with product. Every single one of these ads, even ones that are, let's say, more attention grabbing, like the bra brands of Honey Love that we have right here, they are really clear as to what they are selling, right? Very, very clear in every single case. We know this is likely clothing. This is t-shirts. This is shoes, bras. Liquid Death, I'll admit, is a little bit of a different one. So don't hold me to that. And then we have a jean brand, right? Very, very straightforward. That honestly, I think if you had to choose one thing to make, just make ads like these 3 here. These 3 are probably the most straightforward example of ads that will work well. They're not going to completely change your brand's identity. They're just going to tell people that you're on sale. And then the last thing is the 1 hour ads, or ugly ads, whatever you want to call them. These are ads that you could probably make in legitimately 5 minutes. I actually like these ads because they stand out tremendously and they don't feel like ads oftentimes. So first we have the iPhone Notes ad, just like literally like this. There's really no other way for me to explain it. And then we have sticky note ads, which tend to do really, really well. They're having a moment right now. I think this one actually could be a little bit better, but general idea is like you literally take a sticky note and you take a screenshot on your phone with the sticky note. We also have a ad that looks very, very similar to what we have here, but we have it on a sticky note written in true, whatever, pen. Handwritten. Thank you, Sabir. Which ultimately engages the user in a different way. So I'm a real big fan of the quality statics, but I do think for some brands, these quote ugly ads could do super well in the fourth quarter, as long as we are screaming what the discount is and what the promotion is. Because like I said before, this is the one time a year where you can get away with saying buy one, get one free, X% off, and not discount your brand in totality. That is everything that I was going to go through. I'm happy to answer any questions that pop up.
So just kind of while we're waiting for the questions, what I would say is I think keep it simple, right? Especially during this time where the attention span is like divided across so many advertisers. Keep the ad, even in the quality one, the message there is keep it simple. Because a lot of what I see, a lot of Shopify store owners, what they do is they go like, we have to tell them about this or that or whatever. You're going to confuse them. That ad is not going to perform. They're not going to see it. They'll ignore it, right? So you have to keep it very simple. Maybe 3 to 5 words is more than enough, right? Keep it simple. Maybe there's a logo there and then it shows the product that you have. Keep it super simple. And even with the ugly, as you can see, the message is very clean, right? You see the screenshot, you see the post-it note. It's very simple, right? People get it. And with the ugly ads, it's attention grabbing. That's what it is. Because in the sea of sameness of all these ads that look the same, and if you have your ad with a post-it note on there, it distracts them from the normal. So you will get a lot better engagement out of those ads from that perspective too. You have to understand the consumer psychology there too.
Totally agree with you, Sabir. Totally.
Very cool. Let's see. Elif, I hope that we answered, and Sam actually answered your question. And for all that's a very good idea, and we are doing that. We should actually share the insights also for newer brands also. And thank you, Sam, for covering that, where you X'd out all the other panels and you just kept it to just that first panel and maybe the second panel, depending on the size of the budget there. And then how often would you say, Sam, to change the budget, right? If I'm spending $50, I see that it's working. When do I go to 75 or 100 before, I don't want to trigger learning phase.
So I have a harsher opinion on this than most people do. I think that you could spend and increase your budgets as aggressively as you want. I think that we've been kind of, what's the right word, like psyoped a little bit into a world where you can only increase by 10 or 20% to avoid getting into the learning phase. The reality is you'll get out of the learning phase so much faster if you quadruple your budget one day. Now, do I recommend, if you're not getting results, to just 3x your budget? No, never. But if you're hitting your KPIs and you're not seeing big factors of scale and you're optimizing often with click-through conversions and potentially using platforms like AdBeacon or third-party attribution software that's click-based, you're going to have a better and closer idea of what's going to happen as you do spend more money. So generally, I don't mind doubling budgets one day, even though that goes totally against what every Facebook person would normally tell us. Sabir, you and I have done it plenty of times. It's happened many times before in past lives and past experiences. We've moved budgets from a few $1,000s a day to tens of thousands and $20,000s per day. just with a couple clicks of a button because we see through the data that it's available for us.
So Vanita actually is asking like a ramp up type of a question. So, verbatim, she says, so when should we start running the BFCM ads? Should we start first week in November, or should we wait till the actual week?
Okay. I'll give, everyone's got a thought on this. Here's mine. The US election is November 5th. Political advertising represents right now about 40% of total eyeballs on the platform, which is bonkers. So CPMs are high. Cost of advertising is super high. My recommendation is November 6th. Two things will happen. A, CPMs, cost of advertising, is likely to go down. Can't guarantee it, but it's likely to go down. And then second, half the country is going to be happy. That doesn't happen too often. So we like that. Consumer behavior is usually really, really strong, meaning consumer purchasing behavior is usually really strong post-election, because even the other 50% that's not happy tends to understand and know with certainty what's happening for the next 4 years.
That caveat, that's for the US market, because we do
is.
have people from Netherlands and Denmark and everywhere else in the world, So if your markets are like Australia, New Zealand, I don't know how much coverage US elections are getting, and if there are ads being run in those areas, or even promoting content related to it by news agencies and stuff, be mindful of that, So that's a very good advice, even from a global standpoint. Phoenix, I saw you making faces. So what's your POV on this?
Damn. Okay. So I agree with Sam. Actually, like I think, well, okay, look, I think shocking your ad account is still a thing in terms of like spending too much within a time period. I don't think that the 20% threshold is really that barometer that we've been used to. If it's during peak, scale. Like I really have a hard time with people handcuffing themselves during peak because they fit this formulaic 20% every 3 days type of thing, because I've spent 5 to 50,000 jump in one day during BFCM and still profitable, still okay. And also just to keep in mind, like sometimes you can sustain that growth year round. Probably not to the highest extent of Black Friday, Cyber Monday, but maybe even 20% less. And then now you're growing. So you rob yourself of that opportunity. If you see great results, push. It's your time. The only other thing too, I was like kind of going back and forth with, is when he was saying when to start. I completely agree. I was going to think about the election too. I was like, yeah, CPMs are most likely going to drop. There's no guarantee, because you're up against Temu, who is already eating up a lot of ad inventory. Then you've got political. Then we had the Olympics. We had a lot of things that we don't necessarily or weren't normal at the time. So things will get better. I was worried, Sam, that you're going to say put everything during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, because I was on a different webinar and another guy said that. And I was like, no. And the reason why I'm against it is because what I said earlier is your number one goal is to take up inventory in someone's mind, like dating. If you're dating a girl, dating a boy, whatever, you want them top of mind all the time. Otherwise, they're not interesting or they're not important. So how do you take up someone's inventory in someone's mind? You don't do it day of, because how many of you are finding new products day of? Maybe a small percentage, and that's great. But then now you're narrowing your opportunities of being that product day of. So I actually just agree. I was just making my faces. I hope that was helpful.
It's all good. No, good faces. I didn't say bad faces. No, it's like, let me interject here, That's good.
Right,
Thank
Sam.
you, Phoenix. Sam, long form versus short form. We have several people asking that question. What's your POV? And then we'll move to the next panelist.
Yeah. First, thanks, Phoenix. And yeah, so I think what people were probably seeing was the bottom half of my screen, where I just have all my notes here, and I had long form video explainer down at the bottom, which I didn't get to because it could be another 30 minutes of it. But basically, here's my POV. I'm reading the chat here. Mark, Catherine. Okay, so what we covered is statics mostly, right? Statics are the easiest to pump out. They're going to get your message across the most clear in the shortest amount of time, and they're the cheapest to run during these peak periods. When it comes to video and long form explainers are the video type that I kind of push all front-facing founders to promote. I think it's super easy to create, and it's essentially not zero cost, but almost no cost. And what I identify as a long form explainer is you get in front of the camera, you put your nicest background behind you, and you put your products right in front of you. And if I'm Polar Seltzer, I say, hi, my name is Sam, and I'm the CEO of Polar Seltzer, and we made this seltzer because, and then you talk about it for 3 straight minutes. And you just let it rip about all the things that are why this seltzer is better than all the other seltzers. You also add a hook. You add some sort of a guarantee, meaning, and if you don't like my seltzer, then you could ship it back to us and we'll refund you every single cent. No questions asked. And then you end with an offer. Now, for holiday periods, you reformat these things around. Hi, I'm the CEO of Polar Seltzer, and we're doing 30% off because we make the best seltzer in the world. And guess what? Even if you don't like it, you just let us know and we'll add an extra 20% off to your order. Like, there's so many ways you can do it. 1% of people will act on your guarantee and they'll never purchase from you again. 99% will not, and they'll be happy with the deal product and knowing that there's a face to your product. We've done this so many times with clients that we work with. Everyone has resistance to it at first. No one wants to be behind the camera. And once they are, everything changes.
Thank you, Sam. I know that there are other questions coming up. We will circle back also. I want the other panelists to also get their share of their expertise here. So Sam, just for clarity, a disclaimer, this segment was not sponsored by Polar Seltzer water. So I just want to clear
that would have been smooth. Sabir.
Maybe they should sponsor future ones. Party needs to work on partnerships with them, you know. And with that, thank you, Sam. Let's move on to Will Laurenson from Customers Who Click. I would say that let's go and help all of these attendees with their conversion rate optimization, CRO expertise. Let's go, Will.
Hi. So I feel like there's so much more I want to talk about now, given what these two have just talked about. So I'm going to try and really stay focused, because the thing that I really want to focus everyone on right now is landing pages, which got mentioned a bit in the previous talks. But not only are landing pages just a great opportunity for Black Friday, given that it's coming up, but just generally speaking, if you are spending money, if you are deliberately driving traffic to your website, which I would hope most people are, landing pages are the best place to send them to, right? Just never, well, I don't know what Sam thinks about this, but or Sabir, but I don't think you should ever direct traffic to your homepage, right? Deliberately, right? Maybe you get some direct traffic, SEO traffic and whatever, but if you're spending money, you need to control the dialogue, you need to control where that traffic goes to. And the best place to do that is a landing page, right? So the first thing
you should direct to homepage literally 0 times. Things that you control, all the channels you control. You should put traffic to your homepage exactly 0 times.
Yeah, I can't really think of any reason to. You know, you're putting an ad, a specific message in an ad in front of someone, and then you're landing them on your homepage and saying, go figure it out for yourself. Right? A landing page allows you to say, here's the offer, here's the product we're talking about. You click through the advert and then you get that product and that offer, and you get the information you need and you make a decision there. So there are 3 types of landing pages that I want to focus on, because I think these are the 3 most common and very much tie into what these guys do as well. So the first is product specific. So this is where we're basically saying we have a hero product or maybe a bundle. We want people to buy this product or bundle. So advertise to that product and bundle and sell that on that page, and just have one page that is dedicated to talking about why that product is amazing, why you should buy it, any special offer that you're pushing. You want to add as much content there as possible, as long as it provides value. All right. So the next one is offer or promotion intent. So this is where, you know, maybe if you're a fashion website or something like that, you might not have a hero product that you want to direct people straight to, but you might have a Black Friday sale coming up, right? Or a new collection or whatever it is, but it's a bit more of a bit broader, right? So we use promotional campaign pages to say, here's what's going on, here's stuff that's coming up, learn about our business, learn about our products, and then kind of go and explore what those products are. And then the final one, which I'm really, really enjoying at the moment, actually, is kind of problem-solving intent or educational pages. And part of the reason I like this is because we tie it into kind of email marketing and zero-party data. And I think it was Phoenix who mentioned, capturing data from people on landing pages, where you basically say, like, what problem are you trying to solve? What products are you trying to buy? Maybe what's your budget? Maybe when are you looking to purchase? And then you use this data to then either recommend a product to them right there and then and say, cool, we've actually got a solution for you. Or you pass all that information to Klaviyo, all that information back into ads, and you retarget people, you email people, you nurture them, and you get that sale over time. And, as Sabir said early on, it takes multiple touch points to get people through the door, right? And to get them to purchase. So those product specific pages are really good when you've got high intent people who want to purchase, and they know what they need to purchase and what the problem is they're trying to solve, but they may not know exactly what the product is. So those are perfect there. Majority of people, if they're coming from Facebook for the first time and have never really heard of you, then the educational pages are really good for that. Really good for kind of telling them about your brand, about your products, and then capturing that information. And if you do it right, you can still get a purchase. Because if you fill out a form, answer 5 questions, and then this form says to you, oh, by the way, we have this product for you, it's perfect for your situation, there's a good chance you're going to buy it, because you've basically just said, I have this problem, and the page is saying, cool, we'll fix that problem with this product. So that's what I'm really, really enjoying right now. So then I just want to talk
with that, Will, I would say that, like a questionnaire type approach, what I have seen, and I highly recommend it for people, where there is a question, it's a technical product, let's say, right? And there's confusion around it. And when I say technical product, I don't mean like electronics. Women's bra is a complicated product, right? Most women wear the wrong bra size, for example, right? And then having a questionnaire or a quiz app, which actually helps them answer 3 questions or maybe 5 total, that if they lead down that path, the conversion rate actually skyrockets from the people who take the quiz versus people who don't take the quiz.
No, it's a great example. And I think a lot of brands use quizzes as those kind of broader pieces. Like if you're maybe a skincare brand or like health and beauty brand, you might use it as a way of saying, okay, cool, well, here's some skincare products. Here's some like hair products. Here's some makeup or whatever. But actually, like once you kind of know which category people are going down, you can then refine it further and say, well, now let's help you find which product exactly is the right one for you. Where on that broader one, you might have too many questions to do that, right? And you don't want people to get bored, especially if they haven't given you an email address yet, right? You want to capture that email quite quickly. There's actually I've seen a lot of people doing just their normal email sign up forms with zero-party data, where it says, we'll give you a discount for your email address. Cool, pretty standard. And then it starts asking you questions, and that way they've got the email first, so they can now email you. But then they start to learn from you. And quite often, if you ask the right questions, people don't have an issue answering these questions.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just the email there. Also, Will, let's tap into like Sam's area, right? With paid ads, you could do retargeting based on the types of questions they answered, because they told you literally what they're interested in. By answering A, B, C, or they're interested in B. All right, let's retarget them through this ad that's going to be specifically speak to them on the choice B that they selected.
Exactly, and if you're really set up properly, you can track everything all the way through and say, people who clicked on this ad, maybe they told us this in their form, and then they went on to buy this, and then maybe what their lifetime is as well. But that gets quite complex, and I'm not here to go into that right now.
We do have some
Um,
questions. Let me just quickly
Okay.
interject here with from Mindy. She says, "I'm new to Shopify. This is our first Shopify site." It says, how do you build landing pages? You know, so what's your POV? I know the answer, but I want to hand this off to you.
we use Replo, tool called Replo. There are a few others in the market. There's Gem Pages, Fly Pages, I think, Fly Page, and Shogun.
Yeah.
We use Replo. We find it the easiest to use. It is a little bit better.
Oh,
for
Pagefly,
kind of
not Fly Page. Pagefly.
Pagefly, that's the one. I thought it was wrong. Yeah, Replo, it works a bit better for us as well as an agency because it allows us to transfer templates and things around as well, so we can kind of build in our own account and then move things around, which is really helpful.
And good for A/B testing also.
Good for A/B testing. They've got loads of templates as well, and these templates are REPLO. Just answering that question. What was I going to say? They have loads of templates from actual brands. So these are brands that actually use these landing pages, have made money from these landing pages, and they've now been templated into Replo.
And Vanita is asking about the quiz questionnaire app. What's your preferred tool? There are so many quiz apps out there.
There's quite a few. There's two that I really like are you've got Octane AI, which is I think it is still Shopify only, which is fine because most people are on Shopify. That one's really, really good. They've actually introduced an AI builder, which I was having a look at today. So you basically press a button, it looks at your website, it kind of digs into Shopify, looks at your website, looks at everything, and builds a quiz for you. Now, I wouldn't recommend going live with that quiz, but it could save
like
you
all the other AI apps, right? Don't take it as the first step.
Don't just go with it, but it builds you a really good kind of framework and base for your quiz without you having to spend loads of time on it. And then you've just got to go in, tweak some questions. You've got to add your creative and stuff. And obviously, you know your product and brand better. So if it's saying, well, I think these are the answers to this question, you might say, well, actually, firstly, they're not the answers. And secondly, this isn't a relevant question anyway, so I don't want to ask it. So definitely look into that. The other one, which is more on the email capture side, it's not, I don't think it does product recommendations, is called FormToro, which I really like. And it has a lot of that attribution piece as well for the ad side. It is a bit more complex though, so I probably wouldn't recommend it for beginners, early stage brands. I would say it's probably much better for an agency like Sam, or for people who are really comfortable handling big budgets and just understand that and how to use that data. Because if you don't understand the data, there's no point paying for a tool that gives you all this data if you can't do anything with it. But I'd recommend Octane AI, build out the quizzes, because you then capture all that data, that goes into Klaviyo, and you can then recommend products. So some people will purchase, some people won't. Nice and easy.
The other one that you mentioned, if you could just quickly type it in, besides the Octane, just the name of it in the webinar.
Where's my chat? It is FormToro. So
FormToro.
Except that's a direct message. So
thank you.
Change that. There you go, FormToro.
All right. Thank you, Will. Thank you for that. Really appreciate it. So let's move on to with Elliott, and let's get those emails working for our Black Friday sales. Let's rock and roll.
Let's do it, Sabir. So I'm going to pull up my screen here, and similar to Sam, I'm going to be showing everyone our internal framework that we're using for our clients, our brands that we're partnered with. But I think you'll like me more than Sam, because with our content here, you can screenshot anything you'd like and actually copy paste these exact strategies. So this will be very helpful for everyone. I'm sorry, Sam, you set yourself up for that one. Okay, so let's get into it. We're talking about
Sam, he's just bitter because he was late and I yelled at him. That's why.
Why don't we just,
that's it.
Let's just move on to the next one here. Why don't we just,
Sorry. So we're talking about maximizing email marketing revenue during the holiday season, specifically BFCM, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and a few important notes here that I want to cover to just set the tone before we get into the specific actionables are number one, in 2024, Black Friday, Cyber Monday is no longer a weekend. It's no longer 2 days on the calendar. It really encompasses all of November going into December. And the reason for that is brands are starting their promos earlier and earlier. So I'm shocked I haven't gotten a Black Friday sale or pre-sale email yet. But the truth is, most brands or a lot of brands are starting them early in November. And wallet shares, where they used to be full, ready to capture by Black Friday, are heavily depleted once Black Friday rolls around. So
Consumers
spending
already
season,
spent.
that's it, exactly. So that's where when we use the word Black Friday, Cyber Monday, that terminology, we really talk about it as November and December at this point. So with that said, you should absolutely consider starting your sales earlier in November to maximize your revenue potential. And a side effect or coinciding reason why you need to be doing this is you can imagine if your competitors are on sale throughout November and you're waiting to launch your sale on Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend, throughout the month of November, as you're sending your evergreen non-sale campaigns, you're competing with your competitors in your subscribers' inboxes where your competitors have a sale going on, you don't, and naturally your conversion will fall. So we have worked with brands that opt to not run a sale until Black Friday, Cyber Monday. And every time we've seen this happen, the month of November leading up to Black Friday, their sales fall off a cliff because everyone is in spending mode on sales specifically.
I'll give a golden gem to this. By the way, you should do a sneak peek test of A/B testing your promotions that you want to run for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, October 16th through 31st. October, not even November 1. October, to your VIP list, to your own list and stuff like that. Just it could be a flash sale or something like that, where you're testing and you're learning from that, so that when you enter this period starting November 1st, you have a lot of knowns, because this does not just touch like the email campaigns. It also it will dictate your creatives when you're running your paid ads also.
Yeah, absolutely. So 1 week down from the 16th, 1 week to go to run those
You're already
tests.
late.
Yeah, no pressure. So lastly, just to set the tone, your customers are actively spending their money. So you should give them a compelling offer to spend some of it with you in this season. And really important, we focus a lot on clearing the funnel in Q4 going into the end of the year, because you've been acquiring new email subscribers all year. And while unsubscribes are seen as a very scary thing in email marketing, the fact of the matter is between 80 and 90% of email signups you drive are never going to purchase. They're permanently going to be prospects. And the other fact of the matter is that the data supports is every day that goes by that these prospects who join your list, and that 80 to 90% who will never purchase, every day that goes by where they don't purchase, the odds of them ever purchasing decrease dramatically. So this is where we want to use this opportunity when everyone is in peak consumerism mode to convert as many of these prospects as possible that you have gained throughout the year who haven't converted before they become effectively permanently lapsed. So the first thing that you're going to want to start with when putting your campaign calendar together for November, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, is analyzing your performance during these two periods. So the first period you want to look at is November 2023, specifically Black Friday, Cyber Monday 2023, and understand if you were running promos last year, what converted well, what didn't convert well, and what lessons can you take out of that in terms of offers that customers and prospects responded to well that you may want to bring into Black Friday, Cyber Monday 2024. And then the second thing is, I'm sure this applies to a lot of brands here. You've probably ramped up a lot of your testing, a lot of the offers that you've been sending in 2024. So with that, you also want to look at what have we sent in 2024, what offer types converted best. So if you ran a percentage off sale in June, a dollar off sale in May, a gift with purchase offer at some point, a tiered spending offer at some point, which offers converted best for your customer demo? Because we'll talk about offer strategy in a second, but there's simply not one top performing offer strategy for every single brand out there. So you need to let your customer demo tell you what that offer is for them. And by looking at your data from 2024 and last November, 2023, you'll be able to identify what those top performing offers are so that we can then bring that into the fold in 2024. And then the second thing you want to look at is throughout the year, hopefully, really hopefully, not every campaign you've been sending has been a promo campaign. We always try and balance throughout the year our promo campaigns with our educational campaigns, our engagement-driven campaigns, value-driven campaigns. And for those campaigns that were educational or value-driven that you sent out, so maybe you were talking about your customer testimonials in one campaign, maybe you were talking about your bestsellers in another campaign, which of those campaigns, which of those marketing angles and content converted best? Because we're also going to want to cherry pick what we now know work to convert your customer base without a promo involved, in order to bring that into the fold as well and merge with our promo strategy. So once you identify what worked last year and this year in 2024, now we want to get into the offer strategy that you want to run with. So we want to consider these strategies to maximize conversions. Number one, we want to start sales as early as possible in November. And I'm just going to skip ahead here to, we want the offer that you're running during Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend to be the best deals that you're offering all year long. Because the truth is, while all other brands are starting their promos early, consumers are starting to spend early, there are a lot of consumers who do save part of their wallet share for Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend, understanding that it is when most brands put their best deals forward. So what you don't want to happen is run your best deals early in November or potentially even earlier in the year, and then get to Black Friday, Cyber Monday and launch a 20% off site-wide sale. And it kind of just falls flat because you've been running a 20% off sale all month. Or maybe you've been running maybe you ran a 25% off sale in October and now it's just underwhelming. So essentially, we want to hit your customers with the best deal that they've seen all year, which means in early November, these are just some ideas of top performing pre-Black Friday, Cyber Monday offers that we have seen in the past. The first is get a free gift with purchase on the first 500 orders, let's say, from when we start the promo. So basically, set a target number that can be the first 50 orders from the send time of this campaign will receive a free small gift with their purchase, and then set a end date to that. So essentially, you're going to drive purchases with this value of a free gift with the urgency of needing to be part of that first 50, first 100 purchases with the offer code, which will expire. And then the second type of offer is a limited time early access sale. So essentially, this can be on November 7th, let's say, launch your early access sale, which is for either VIPs or your entire email and SMS list. And this can include giving them a code for 20% off site-wide, let's say, where they will not see the offer presented anywhere on the site. So it's very clear that you haven't publicly launched your sale. It's not running in ads, but if you are on the email or SMS list, you've received a special code to shop early. And then once Black Friday, Cyber Monday comes along, just to kind of tie these strategies together, you would then tack on something additional. So maybe from November 7th to November 29th, it's 20% off site-wide early access. And then on Black Friday, it's 20% off site-wide plus a free gift with purchase, or plus an additional 5% off bestseller.
Yeah, like doorbusters or
bestsellers.
webbusters, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And then during Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend, the top performing offers we've seen are site-wide discounts. The idea really is that we want your offer to be as clear as possible. We don't want to have people jump through hoops to figure out how to claim your offer. So that's where a general % off site-wide discount is generally what we see performing best. A buy more, save more discount, I would still prefer brands run site-wide discount, but if your margins don't really support 20% off a low AOV basket, that's where a buy more, save more has a similar impact and can drive higher AOV while still being pretty straightforward to understand. And then what we also see convert very, very well are specially merchandised bundles. So this is where you can create curated product bundles at steep discounts, which are only available on Black Friday. So number one, there's the limited aspect of it where we know this is only going to be available during Black Friday, Cyber Monday weekend. They can be heavily discounted because you can curate them based on inventory that you need to move for the end of Q4. And you could potentially combine them with products that do have strong consumer demand so that there is the natural pull to want to buy them. You get rid of some inventory. Potentially, you can also curate them based on new products that you want customers to try. So there's a lot of ways to twist this in your favor, and it's also a offer type that converts extremely well. The next thing that's important here is you want to have a different offer for Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So you don't want to run the same offer through both of these days. And the reason is you want to give people a reason to come back to the site. You don't want to be hammering home for 4 straight days, 20% off site-wide, 20% off site-wide, and basically let it run stale. So that's where it's really important. And we've seen this very clearly in the data. When brands have a different compelling offer on Cyber Monday than Black Friday, they drive far more clicks to the website because people are just intrigued to come back and now shop a different offer. This I already referenced, making your offer as easy as possible for customers to understand and apply. And then on Cyber Monday, the other thing that we've worked well, this goes into clearing the funnel again. But if you do have any data to support what converts your prospect specifically, so if you have a hero product that you know is a top converting product for first-time purchasers, that can be something that you discount heavily on that Cyber Monday to just drive acquisition and clear the funnel so that you don't let all of these prospects sitting in your database lapse going into next year. And then for customers, you can drive offers that maximize LTV, where that can be something like a subscribe and save offer. Most brands already have a subscribe and save offer, but you can make this more compelling. So if it's normally subscribe, say 20% off, it could be 25%, for example, a buy more, save more with tiered discounting, and then potentially like a bundle and save offer for customers. Now, getting to campaign frequency and timing, Sabir mentioned the number of impressions that are needed. I think Sam mentioned it as well. We want to aim for at least 20 emails throughout November to maximize opens, clicks, and ultimately conversions. Now, this actually there's no correlation here to the size of your list. A lot of people might think, I only have 10,000 subscribers. That's too many emails. People are going to get annoyed. They're going to unsubscribe. But the fact of the matter is, in the busiest time of the year, when number one, brands are starting their sales earlier, brands are also ramping up the frequency that they're sending. There's no point in the year when inboxes are going to be more flooded. So having those shots on goal to just get into the inbox and get an open and a click and ultimately conversion means needing to ramp up the amount of emails you're sending. Now,
I want to add on one more thing to that, Elliott. It's not just the 20 that you have already planned. So here's the golden gem I'm going to give to everybody here, right? They should add on at least another 5 more campaigns, what I call break glass. In Rapid 2X, we call it break glass campaigns, that in case if that revenue is not coming in or you're not making your sales and stuff like that, during this period, I would recommend having 5 break glass campaigns ready to go for targeted and segmented campaign. So it's not just 20, it's 20 plus 5 campaigns. So it's 25 campaigns you need to have at the ready. That's extra 5. Just in case if you're not meeting your goals, you need to break glass and send it to prospects, send it to one-hit wonders, send it to VIPs in order for you to get that traction to sweeten the deal or whatever. You should always have that extra 5. and hope that you never have to break the glass and never have to send those campaigns out. But if you do, it's at the ready, so you're not scrambling. It's already anxiety-driven period for marketers at this time, for business owners. You want to lessen that anxiety by planning better at this time on October 23rd.
Yeah, that's a great point. So no matter how much research or confidence you do and have to choose your offers, great points up here. You definitely want to have those break glass campaigns in order to send something that you know is going to convert. So getting into cadence based on sale duration, if you're running a sale for only 1 to 2 weeks, you want to send at least 1 email per day. Again, a lot of people think this is excessive. It's going to drive heavy unsubscribes. It simply is not the case based on our data. And there are things that you can do to negate this, which I'll talk about in a second. If your sale's over 2 weeks, then just from a bandwidth perspective, if you can't create 25, 30 emails, you can send an email every 1 to 2 days. But once you get into peak periods, so a few days pre-Black Friday to Cyber Monday, you absolutely want to be sending daily. And then one thing that we found to be extremely effective is if you are running a sale from the early November through Cyber Monday, and that offer is the same for 2 weeks, let's say, there are certain content things you can do to avoid the offer getting stale. But by adding in 2 to 3 24-hour flash sales that have an additional incentive, like let's say you're running a 20% off early access promo for pre-Black Friday, and you can add in 20% off plus for the next 24 hours, an extra 5% off this specific collection, or for the next 24 hours, get this gifted purchase. That really keeps things interesting to have customers not feel like, okay, I've already seen this offer and now it's just a reminder being sent. Now, this is really important. You absolutely want to send teaser campaigns before your sale starts. So what this does is it builds anticipation and it gets customers primed to buy once you do send your announcement emails and you do start sending your Black Friday emails, which we're going to see in a second in the creative, should be very concise to the point. So you don't want to start giving customers all of the information that is clouding their ability to just go shop when the sale starts. You want them to have that information beforehand, get excited about it, hopefully wait by their phones to get that text and email, and then get ready to shop. So you want to send at least 1 email and 1 SMS teaser 1 day before the sale starts. And you can use your email teasers to drive SMS signups for early access. And a lot of people think early access has to mean something very special. Really, all it can mean in order to just have integrity for your customers is you can send the Black Friday sale is starting SMS an hour before the email goes out and just let them know they're first in line. So with that teaser, it can say, our Black Friday sale starts tomorrow. Here's the offer. SMS signups get their code before everyone else. So sign up for SMS and be first in line to shop. Now, when we get into the cadence for Black Friday and Cyber Monday specifically, on Black Friday, you want to target your broadest possible segments without impacting your deliverability. So you never want to send to your full list because that will, without a doubt, negatively impact your
I call them spray and pray campaigns. Don't do that.
Don't do that, exactly. But you do want to go as broad as possible, which usually in most cases tends to be around the 365-day engage mark. So if you're typically sending to engaged segments of 90 or 180 days, you want to expand that to anyone who has become unengaged but now can be brought back in to the fold with a really great offer that you're presenting to them. And on Black Friday, you want to send a minimum of 3 email campaigns. Again, a lot of people think it's excessive, but at this point, you can probably imagine how many email campaigns are being sent to your subscriber on Black Friday. And if someone is getting 10 an hour, let's say 15 an hour, and they're not checking their phone in the morning, by the time they check their phone in the afternoon, your email that you sent at 9 a.m. is already completely buried. So that's where you want to have a touch point in the morning, you want to have a touch point at midday, and then you want to have a touch point in the evening. And basically in the morning, Black Friday is here, shop now. Midday, don't forget, use code XYZ for Black Friday savings. And then in the evening, you want to frame the evening send as kind of a last chance message. So even if your sale goes into Saturday, you want to frame it as Black Friday is ending in 3 hours. Shop now and just drive some urgency there. And then
Just for clarity, Elliott,
Yeah.
engaged segments means your customers plus your opens and clicks from the email campaigns.
Yeah, exactly. So anyone who's shown engagement with your email in the last 365 days.
Yeah, Justin asked. I just want to make sure that we clarify for him.
For sure.
Thank you, Justin. Thank you.
Yeah. So then on the SMS side, you want to send 2 SMS campaigns. So you want to have one in the morning and then one in the evening. So similar psychology there. Someone could be working in the morning. They're just not in the shopping zone, but they get off work. They're ready to shop. Send another one in the evening. And yeah, the AM SMS should be sent shortly before the email with early access messaging. Next, we get into Cyber Monday. So similar train of thought here to follow. You want to send a teaser on Sunday for the upcoming Cyber Monday specific offers that you're running. You want to target broad, usually 365-day engaged segments is generally what works for everyone. You want to send a minimum of 3 email campaigns on Cyber Monday as well, Monday, midday, evening, and then you want to send just 1 SMS campaign. You can send 2 if you're feeling ambitious, but generally a minimum of 1 in the morning for early access. Now, content strategy for campaigns.
Just 2 things there, Elliott. One, I would say that when to break out the sale for Black Friday. I would recommend breaking it out like the day before Thanksgiving, potentially, right? So that you start this process a little bit early. Cyber Monday, Sunday, around between 3 and 6 p.m. On Sunday is a great time to break out your Cyber Monday to get that. And you're launching it on your site and you're communicating with all of your existing engaged segments. That's what, and then all the others could start on Monday, because you want to get some of that pressure off of Monday. And because Friday typically is a holiday, meaning that people take the day off because of Thanksgiving, but Monday is a work day. So you want to take some of that revenue off the table Sunday night while they're at home, And number 2, Elliott, just giving you a quick alert. Let's jump to the end of it. I know this is really valuable, but I do have 2 other folks, like Sean, and also I want to let the audience know that my number 1 sales strategy I need to share. I'm going to go last. Being the host, I'm going to go last. I'm going to give everybody else a chance here. So stick around. So don't hang up yet. And make sure you take lots of notes.
Cool. So I'm going to wrap this up with just the most important things you should know from the rest of this. Basically, on your content strategy, try and incorporate plain text emails, ideally from you, the founder. You're going to see better inbox placement. They convert really well because they serve as a pattern interrupt compared to the other design emails someone's going to get. And they tap into the psychology of people buying from people over brands. This is one of the most important things you can implement and the easiest things you can implement to see really strong incremental conversion opposed to just sending design emails. When you're sending design emails, keep them really short, sweet, to the point. This isn't the time to sell. This is the time to just convey your offer super clearly and get someone to go shop. The rest of the year, pre-Black Friday, is when you want to actually sell and educate on your brand. And then technical implementation, you want to keep skip recently emailed profiles off when you're sending sale campaigns, exclude recent purchasers from your campaigns, and then let me see what else is super important here.
Oh, somebody asked a technical question regarding the Klaviyo pixel. Should we keep it on or off during Black Friday? Because that affects deliverability also.
The Klaviyo pixel, I would say absolutely. In order to, if you're talking about like to track clicks, then 100%. The last thing I'll call out here is basically if you are worried about oversending, what we do for our partners is we put in a so this is the normal unsubscribe button down here, and then we let people know that they can unsubscribe specifically from upcoming promotional emails. This involves just tagging them with a profile property that puts them into a segment, which we then exclude. Cool. So it's a little more complex to set up, but this definitely lets you send as much as you want without that fear. And then last thing is in your flows, you want to add a universal block into the top of every single live flow email you have. And that universal block means you can have a image block like this in every email. And with one click of a button, you can change what that block is in every single email that you've put it into. So that means when your sale starts, you want to have the reminders in your abandoned cart emails, browse abandonment of the current offer that's going on. And this really helps in driving incremental revenue from your flows. And then absolute last thing, you want to update your pop-up forms to reflect the live Black Friday, Cyber Monday offers you have instead of that evergreen 10% off offer that you're probably running. And that's basically it. Monitor campaign performance and adjust strategies, break glass as necessary.
Thank you very much, Elliott.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
we have, just to kind of remind everyone here in the audience, Sean McCarthy, our partners at Lucky Orange, couldn't be here, but they wanted to participate. So I am going to share with you what they shared with us to share with you guys. So let's do this quickly. I did speed it up a little bit so that you guys can you give me a thumbs up in chat if you can see the shared screen from them? All right, sounds good. And I would ask for one more thing. I'm gonna play this. I want to make sure that the sound is coming through.
Hey everybody, I'm Sean McCarthy from the team over at Lucky Orange, and I'm excited to be
Can
able
you
to
guys
share
hear it?
a message with the e-commerce roundtable today. Even though we can't be there in person, our entire team is going to be offsite during this time at a Best Places to Work ceremony. We've been honored. We've actually won our category 2 years in a row here in Kansas City, so we're up for the honor again. So we'll be offsite. But I'm happy that Sabir said, "Hey, just shoot a video. We'll share it with the roundtable, so that we can hopefully provide some good tips as we head into the busy shopping season." So most of you probably know about Lucky Orange. You've probably heard of it through Sabir, through the community. But just to kind of level set before we dive in here, Lucky Orange is conversion optimization tools. And so we provide visual analytics for people to show you exactly what visitors are doing on your website so that you can make more confident website optimization decisions. We have a whole host of tools. But the primary tools, and the ones that we'll really focus on talking about today, are heat maps and session recordings. So a heat map, or as we call them, a dynamic heat map, shows you click, scrolls, moves. So where people on average on that page, within your segment, within your timeline, or your date range, where they're clicking, how far down they're scrolling, where they're moving their mouse. They're dynamic because you can see those clicks, scrolls, moves with dynamic page elements like drop-down menus, mega menus, pop-ups, chat, all that sort of stuff. So it's a really great way to get a quick view of what's happening on the page. The other tool that we lean on a lot with people is session recordings. A session recording is what it sounds like. It's a complete recording of the entire session on your site. So everywhere the person goes, what pages they visit, what they click on, maybe what they get angry about, what they scroll, what text they highlight, anything and everything that they're doing during their site visit, you can watch that in a playback. So when Sabir came and said, "Hey, we want to have you guys participate in the e-commerce roundtable," we're talking about Q4, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We wanted to come up with a perspective on applying these tools in a way that can help you take advantage of this busy time of year. Because I realize that Q4, Black Friday in general, we're spending a lot of money on ads. We're going full throttle on creative testing. We might be launching some new products. And we might be offering some new payment methods, discounting methods, upsell, cross-sell, combos, whatever it might be. We're all trying our best to take advantage of this time of year so that when Q1 comes, the dust settles, we look back and say, all that effort was worth it. We drove so much traffic to our site and we know what they did, they converted, they didn't, whatever it is, we're in a better place come Q1. So here's a couple of quick ideas that I think you can apply throughout this time of year to really, really focus on what we'll call it here, which is optimizing your pricing and payments on page elements. So as we go through this, I'll try and draw lines back to our tools, but when we wrap, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll put a QR code here on the end of this to just let you know my LinkedIn. Happy to help, happy to bounce ideas and questions around. If you head into this and you say, "I'm trying to use your tools, they're not working," whatever it might be, we're always happy to partner on these things. So the first thing that I would say is we got to make sure that anything around pricing and payments throughout our checkout process, throughout our ad cart process, it's usable. Whenever I talk about website optimization, I always start with saying, is the website usable? Let's tackle the usability issues first, because if somebody can't figure out how to use your site, if somebody can't figure out how to find the product they're looking for, how to add its cart, how to check out, they're just not going to buy from you. So what we really have to start with saying is, are there any friction or distraction points that are happening around pricing and payment blocks? And this includes, and I've called out here, this is more a note for myself. This includes any specialized buy now, pay later offers. Because I think when we add those in, those buy now, pay laters add kind of a moment of complexity throughout the checkout process to say, is this a buy now, pay later method I've used before? Is this a firm? Is this whatever this offer is? Does this make sense for me? Is this going to get me over the hump to make the purchase? So what we can do with heat maps and session recordings, but heat maps specifically, we can look at a heat map for a product page and see where the click action is. Now, we assume that most of the activity will be around the core add to cart CTA button. But look around that. Is there anything else that's drawing clicks away from the add to cart button? And throughout the entire checkout process, is there anything that's drawing clicks away from the primary thing you need them to be doing to advance to the next step? And particularly what we're talking about here with pricing and payments too is if there is a drop down, if there's a radio button, if there's a selector of some sort that they need to be engaging with, can they engage with it in the right way? So when it comes to session recordings with this, what I would do is I would watch session recordings on the product page that we're studying and say, what's happening when their mouse gets near these buttons? Are they going straight for it? Are they going around it? Are they scrolling down and then coming back up to it? This behavior can tell us how obvious it is that they need to be doing the thing that you're asking them to do on the page. I would also look at our forms. Now, I realize as a caveat that some of us can't optimize some parts of our checkout because we're using Shopify or whatever it might be. There might be a part of our checkout process that we can't optimize. But if you are able to optimize your forms, if you're running forms that you are building, we have a tool inside heat maps called Form Analytics. Form Analytics is great if you can use it because it shows which form field is causing the most abandonment, which form field is having the most repeat entries, which is taking the longest to complete. These things that are signs that there is friction happening within our form. So if you have the ability to optimize your forms, test your forms, play with your forms, I highly recommend checking out Form Analytics for that. Okay, so the other thing here, kind of as another side note, is a lot of brands this time of year will try and capture long-term customers into their loyalty program. So the note here is if you have this, if applying loyalty benefits, if adding a member ID, whatever that mechanism is, however that shows up, watch session recordings of people doing it. Is it causing them to have to run away to their notebook somewhere in their house and grab a number and write it in? Or is it frictionless? Some of those solutions out there are better than others. So if you've added that in there, make sure that you're spending money on the loyalty program. You have a lot of efforts, I'm sure, and alignment around it internally. Take the time to watch some session recordings and say, how are people actually engaging with this part of the process? The other kind of general message that I want to share through this is get your money's worth. Loyalty is a really good example of it. Facebook ads, whatever ads we're running, we want to get our money's worth this time of year. So of course we want every single person to convert, but also of course we know not every single person is going to convert. So again, if you're running personalization, another thing that requires alignment and investment, if you're running that, watch session recordings to see how people are engaging with the personalized elements that are on the page. This is also a good time of year if you don't offer live chat to turn on a live chat tool, create some auto invites. So what we can do with auto invites, and Lucky Orange also has a live chat tool. It's not the top competitor in the space of live chat, but it can be really good for teams. Throw it on this time of year, and then based on maybe time on page on shipping information or something like that, create an automatic invite for people to say, hey, is there something we can help you with? Tag somebody on the team to take a certain hours, whatever it might be. Offering live chat during this time of year can help us get our money's worth with all this traffic that we're sending to our site. And kind of the key takeaway to run with here, don't let traffic to your site go to waste just because they didn't convert. We can convert them into loyalty. We can convert, if nothing else, into learning. So one of the key takeaways with CRO in general is that no matter what we find out when we are watching session recordings or heat maps, every time we engage with these tools, we're learning something. So you're getting a lot of traffic to your site. You're paying for a lot of traffic to your site. Don't let your traffic to your site go to waste just because they didn't convert. All right, so let's talk about your site. If you have any questions, if you're playing with our tools this time of year, don't hesitate. This QR code for my LinkedIn. We're also active with Sabir and everything like that, so we might swing back around later in the year. Thank you, Sabir. Hope everybody has a good time at the rest of the e-commerce roundtable, and good luck out there.
Thank you, Sean. That's Sean McCarthy from Lucky Orange. So the drum roll, I guess, right, Parig? So the number one, let me share the number one, and then I'm going to hand off the microphone to Parig to do what he needs to do. I'm going to share the screen, or if he wants to share any screen, it's up to him. So the number one thing that I want everybody to write down, like, remember what I told you about your notebook and your pen, right? And I hope that you have taken a lot of value from everything that Phoenix, Will, Elliott, Sam gave you guys. Like, I really hope that you actually documented all that. Please go head over to webinar chat and just quickly give me a thumbs up and let me know. And especially within like 3 to 5 words, if you could let me know what exact value that you got from it so far, because I want to give you the number one from our Rapid 2X. I want to tell you what that is, So just head over to the webinar chat and put in a quick, I want this thing to start rolling up as quickly as possible in the webinar chat. So head over there, just type it in. You should have you have been bombarded with amazing value here. And I want to thank Elliott, Will, Phoenix, Lucky Orange, and Sean McCarthy, and Sam for everything they have shared. That's invaluable knowledge that they have shared, and definitely more important than just listening. Like I said, this is not Netflix and chill. So make sure that you are listening to it and implementing it ASAP, you know. So the number one thing I will tell you, it's all of the stuff that they said, 100%, 1,000% I'm in alignment with, right? But the one thing that's going to get in your way of getting those conversions, to getting those, meeting your sales plan and all of those things, the number one thing is speed kills. Speed kills, right? And what kind of speed kills? Bad speed. You know, if your site, and how do you know what's a bad speed? Head over to gtmetrics.com. I'm going to ask everybody here to do this. Go to gtmetrics.com. I'm putting the link into the to webinar chat so that you guys have it. You can just click on it, go and run it, run the report. You should open up 3 tabs with that. The number 1 should be your homepage. Number 2 should be your best-selling product. And number 3 should be your bestsellers category page or collections page. Run it 3 times, right? And if your score, after it takes some time for it to run, right? Run that and then come back while it's running. And as soon as it gives you the results, just head over to the webinar chat and just plug in the score you got, you know, for these pages. If any one of them comes back, literally it means like most of your pages is around that score, right? So head over to webinar chat, plug that in, right? If your score entering into this Black Friday, Cyber Monday period, that means, like I said earlier, I was very serious about October 15, and you have to do your sneak peeks and stuff like that. That's where you're doing your A/B testing of your promotions and stuff like that, right? And this is the time, if you have not done it, you have to get your site speed to a letter grade A, or worst case would be a B+, right? Anything below B+ means that you're losing conversion, you're increasing your bounce rate, and your conversion rate is going to go down, your session value is going to go down, and worse, you know, the thing that you have been trained for, everybody talks about it, right? And even Sam talked about it, Phoenix talked about it earlier about your ROAS, right? Return on advertising spend. Your ROAS is not going to be there, you know, with the increased ad spend by all these other, you know, things that are going on in the world, right? Yeah, the ad cost is going to be high, and that has been the case for 25 years, has not changed. That track has not changed. So the ad costs that you're used to from January 1st through October 15 is a very different world than it is when you enter October 16 onwards, especially this year in the US market, for example, because of the elections, it's even more expensive now, right? And what kills it is your site speed, because anything that you do, whether it's email, SMS, paid media, you know, organic search, even direct, any social post, anything you do ends up on your site. If your site is not optimally set up for site speed, you know, that's like literally in Rapid 2X. You heard me talk about Rapid 2X. There are quite a few Rapid 2Xers in here, and they have gone through that. And by the way, I can tell you, year to date, Rapid 2Xers have achieved 103.34% incremental revenue. Go ahead.
Let me correct you on this one, Sabir.
Go ahead.
I updated the data. We brought in the most recent quarter. It's 108%.
Oh, 108%. So I got 5 more points.
Yeah.
Good.
You got 5 more. Yeah.
All right.
Can I jump in and say something here?
Go ahead, Parag.
I have a story I can tell these guys that will, I think, get them to understand. So because you're the last person to speak and we wanted to leave the big thing till the end, right? Most brands, I'm the guy who speaks to most brands who work with Sabir. In fact, I'm the guy who speaks to every brand who works with Sabir, right? So if you work with Sabir, you go through me, right? I have the conversation to see if we can help, and that's how it works. And one of the biggest things that surprises me is how even very big brands do not understand the impact this can have on their conversion. And Sabir seems to be the only person in the entire market that is talking about this stuff, right? I think he's also the only one because of his computer science background. I think he has the technical ability beyond most people to go really deep on the technical side, because site speed is very, very, very technical, right? It goes above my head many times as well. And I had a call last week with a brand that I'm not going to name the brand, but they're a brand based in Germany and they're doing about 14 million a year. And one of the things we did a GT metrics report, and they were at a D, if I remember correctly. And I was explaining to them that if they took that from a D, just from a D to even a B plus, that their conversions, that they would literally make a couple of million more dollars a year. And they were just like, they wanted to believe this to be true. But it seems like it's so obvious that, well, if that's the case, why isn't everybody else in the market talking about this, right? It's the big problem that nobody's talking about. And one of the things that they said was, after the call, they emailed me and they said, look, if what you were saying is true, it's amazing, right? But we just checked. We took GT metrics and we ran a report for a lot of, and what they said was good brands, right? Good brands. I don't know who the brand were they were talking about, but they were brands that they would look up to as being well-run operations. And it says these good brands, you know, got like an E and a D, and like the best one was a C. And they go like, are you telling me that these brands are leaving tens of millions of dollars on the table? And what I went back to them, and it sticks out in my mind, I said to them, the reality is that the large majority of the e-commerce world is asleep at the wheel, right? And everybody is so obsessed with creatives and ROAS and all this stuff, right? That people have forgotten that the number one thing you need to optimize for is if somebody clicks an ad, and you've all done it, right? You click on an advertisement, the page takes an extra millisecond to load. Right? We just don't have the attention spans for this stuff anymore. We need a piece.
It's 1.7 seconds.
Yeah, 1.7 seconds consumer attention span. So like you are paying Facebook for a click that oftentimes, if you go to Facebook and you break down, you go outbound clicks and landing page views and look at the two numbers. Your landing page views is a lower number than your outbound clicks. But you paid for those outbound clicks. Most of those people didn't even make it to your page. Why? Because somewhere when that thing was turning, all of a sudden they just pressed X because they didn't want to wait any longer. So you've paid money to get somebody on your website who never even got to see the headline or the product picture. It took too long for it to load. And I'll be honest, when I started working with Sabir, like he told me this stuff the same way he tells it to you guys, but I needed to see it too, right? The very first brand that we took on in February of this year, if you don't mind me sharing, Sabir.
Yeah, go ahead. Oram Brothers.
These guys are 1.5 million, got a 51% increase in sales in the first week. And that increase has continued. Like this is not a spike. This is a continuous improvement in conversion just from making the thing faster, right? Those guys actually got 143% increase in the first 21 days, which I'll talk about in a second when Sabir is finished. But I think what you guys need to understand is Sabir didn't bring this up as his point because this is a thing you should do. I'll ask Sabir a question live, right? Sabir, you
go ahead.
Doesn't know I'm going to do.
Listen, it's no holds barred. I'm used to live Q&A. It's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
So let me ask you this question, right? If right now, I'm not sure how many people we have here. We have a lot of people here, right?
Yeah.
If every brand here, right, you had to pay for their advertising spend, right? I know you've got a big bank account, so right, you got to pay for their advertising spend for Q4, and the only way you can feed your family, the only thing you can do for any brand, and you can do any of the stuff that the guys mentioned, the email marketing, you can do paid media, you can touch any part of their business. You can fly to them and help them with product development and logistics and whatever. You can only do one thing for a brand. And it's the only way you can make money. What do you do?
Speed. Improve speed. That's it.
Yeah. This is the.
By the way, improve speed from our results. You have seen it, by the way. You were one of the skeptics in the very beginning when our relationship started, right? Yeah. And you've seen it time and time again in that, and it's actually in Rapid 2X, that's task number 1 that needs to be completed, right? And I'll let you talk about Rapid 2X, but task number 1, as soon as they do task number 1 out of 5 in that first week, what happens? 50% and some of those brands that you said that, oh, we have already optimized everything and everything is great and we paid people to optimize our site. Those are the ones that are shocked when they see 100 to 150% improvement in their revenue and in their conversion rate.
Well, if we take, for example, and I don't want to take up too much time here, but if we take, I won't name the name of the client because I didn't ask them for the permission beforehand, but there's a client that worked with us in the previous cohort. So they finished up about 2 weeks ago. They finished the first 21 days. And they're doing about somewhere between 5.5 and 6.5 million, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And they had, this is a direct quote from my initial conversation with them. They have already done all the conversion stuff, right? It's already done, right? Because everybody always tells me that they're
I always get a kick out of that. They're going like, okay.
Yeah, they were running a well.
Because while they're saying it, I'm running the report, and I know that there's 50 other things that are not done, and that there's at least a couple $1 million stuck behind that.
Well, in their case, I don't know if you don't have data for that particular brand, but that particular brand grew by 45% in the first week. And the only thing they did was increase the speed of their website. For a 45, do the math for you guys who are watching this at home. A brand doing 5.5 to 6.5 million increases sales by 45%. Put that out throughout a 12-month period. That's your profit, right? And that's where I think a lot of brands are stuck nowadays, is that they are running a 6 out of 10 operation across the board. They have 6 out of 10 ads, 6 out of 10 advertising setup, 6 out of 10 attribution, 6 out of 10 landing pages, 6 out of 10 speed, 6 out of 10 upsells, cross-sell, optimization, pricing, 6 out of 10 email marketing. And we are just in a position now where the market rejects 6 out of 10 businesses. 6 out of 10 is not, unless, there's always a caveat, unless you have an incredibly unique product. If you are a one of one, which I know you hate when people say that, Sabir, right?
There's no one of one.
Very few people are.
There are 20,000 on Amazon.
Yeah.
When you think you're a one of one.
Correct. But this I guess is the point. So do you want to finish talking about speed there, Sabir?
Yeah. So number one, and how do you know? Besides the GT metrics, there are 2 other tools I would recommend you get. It's free. One of them is free. It's actually Google Page Speed Insights. That tells you your mobile as well as in more detail even than GT metrics. It gives you also the mobile and desktop. And number 3 would be SEM Rush, which is an SEO tool, but it also gives you SEO site audit on the tool. So definitely run it on that and resolve all those errors and also to speed up your site. There are a lot of things that we actually go through that. And it's funny that, Dan Rowland, who has been with us in the community for a while, the number one thing he says that he did was the site speed, the site speed improvement, because speed, again, remember that this is a very harsh thing to say. Speed kills. It kills your revenue. It kills in a bad way, not in some cool kid way, It actually kills your bounce rate, conversion rate, your ROAS. There's a lot of revenue hidden behind it. And that's a number one task that we need to complete, right? So that's kind of the number one thing, that if you have not done that, and with that, I'm going to actually ask Parik to talk to you about the Rapid 2X program that we have, which actually starts in a week from now. I believe it's November 4th. I believe is the first day. That actually primes you up and gets you ready for the holiday season, so that when you're entering there, you have the best site possible for the best conversion and the highest ROAS that you can get, because there are a lot of the other metrics just go up. And you heard it from all the experts. We brought all these experts, and by the way, they work with Rapid 2Xers also, and you can engage with them independently to work with them as to complete these tasks. If you don't have in-house team, or if you don't have team members or dev people or anything like that, we have all those. We can refer them to the top experts that can help you with that. By the way, Dan just put it in all caps. He says site speed is the number one thing that I did, and with that, while you're speaking, I'm going to share this slide up here. I'm going to just put it up so that while you're explaining, there's a CTA there. Go ahead.
Okay, I've not seen this. This is quite cool. Okay, so
that's my artwork, by the way.
Yeah, very, very good. This is actually quite nice, right? Let me give you guys a very quick overview, because I know that some of you want to jump into the Q&A with Sabir. I'm going to make this 5 minutes, not because I want to, but because I have to, because I actually have a call on the top of the hour I have to be on. So you're going to have to listen to me for 5 minutes, and that's it. So,
actually, some of the folks from here actually just booked. So with you.
Very, very good, right? So essentially, I'll break this down as simple as I can. All of the stuff that we've gone through with you guys today was essentially very specific for the holiday period. But one of the things that we told all of the people who came on the call today, because all of the people who came on the call today, all of these people are part of Sabir's back end. Sam is our media guy. Will is our conversion rate optimization guy. Phoenix Ha and Ben at AdBeacon, we use those guys for attribution. Phenomenal partner of ours. Elliott is our email guy. And essentially all of those guys are domain-specific experts that have been trained up on Sabir's very specific methodology. And essentially what we've done is we took Sabir's entire AD method. Now, I'm not here to talk about the AD method. Some of you might not be familiar with the AD method. If you're not, we have another workshop Sabir does where he breaks all of that stuff down, and we can send you information on this. But what we found working with this year so far, we've worked with 18 brands. And the average of those 18 brands has seen a 108% increase in sales in 21 days. And this is not these are not, I guess, easy brands to grow. The first brand was a brand that was stuck at 1.5 million for 2 years. We have brands based in the US, brands based in Canada, brands based in Europe. We have brands based in Dubai. We have brands based just about everywhere. And I know that I seen actually, Sabir, I'm not sure if you know this, but I seen a couple of names earlier on when I was scrolling through here. There's a couple of your Rapid 2Xers are on here already, right? Yeah. And essentially, we wanted to put together the quickest program that you could go through that would help an e-commerce business optimize the entire front end quickly so that you can optimize yourself coming into any sort of busy period. But obviously now, because it's coming into the Black Friday, Cyber Monday period, we usually launch these programs maybe 3-4 times a year. We had actually finished up for the year, I'll be straight. But the reason we decided to do one for this coming into November was because, to be honest, A, we had a lot of people that wanted it, but B, was because the dates lined up so perfectly. I went to Sabir a few weeks ago. I said, look, November 4th lines up. It's a 3-week program. It literally leads us right into Black Friday. I was like, why don't you do one for Black Friday? Let's make it very specific. Let's make it a holiday edition, and let's make all of the promotional stuff so specific for the holiday period that we can help all of these brands get ready for that period of the year. And they can go through that Rapid 2X process as well. So essentially, if you guys liked what you heard here today, if you liked AdBeacon and you'd like to have that set up and know how to use that well so you can take the insights out of your data, if you liked the ad setup that Sam showed you, if you like the conversion rate stuff Will went through, and the email marketing stuff that Elliott went through, and then the Lucky Orange stuff, and then obviously Sabir site speed stuff. And if you honestly think that all of that stuff combined, getting that stuff done in 3 weeks before Black Friday would make you more money, which statistically speaking, the average brand that's done it has seen a 108% increase. What do you expect is going to happen in the busiest period of the year, right? I would expect more than a 200% increase across the board, but time will tell, right? When we get those numbers, we'll share those numbers with you guys. But what I can tell you is we decided to do some things that we haven't done before. And I want to give a very quick piece of context. The first brand, and I know, Sabir, you won't mind me sharing this, the first brand that joined Rapid 2X with Sabir this year, the very first group, the first brand paid $40,000, and we take a percentage of their revenue. Okay? This was the original offer that we went out to market with for these guys. And our goal was to keep refining it throughout the year until we were in a position where we could keep bringing the cost down and keep bringing the cost down and keep bringing the cost down. And when I went to Sabir a few weeks ago, I asked them for permission that we could sell the holiday version of Rapid 2X at a much lower price to get people in this time of year and see if this model works a little bit better. So for this period, you can get started with Rapid 2X for that 3-week period for as little as $3,000, right? So I know that a lot of people come to us, and one of the things I get, I'm not sure if I've shared this with you, Sabir, but I get a lot of people on calls where they say stuff like, oh, our initial expectation was that this was going to be a lot more expensive. We would have probably booked a call earlier had we known that you guys were quite affordable to work with, right? So I want to make sure the people on this call know this. If everything you've heard here today resonates with you and you believe strongly that working with Sabir and implementing all of the stuff that he teaches would help you make more money in Q4, then I would highly recommend you booking a call with us. Booking a call, you'll speak with Darren, you'll speak with me, we'll have a conversation and we'll have a look at your site. We'll only make you an offer to work with you if we're very confident that we can do business so that we can make you more money. If we don't think we can make you more money, we won't make you an offer. right? And again, year-to-date results, average brand has more than 2x their sales in 21 days, right? If you want proof, go to the website, go Growth by Sabir/case studies. We have everything broken down, every client we work with. I'm in the process of collecting 7 more from 7 clients that we had in the last cohort. Watch them, go to their websites, right? Watch the testimonial videos from the founders and make up your own decision on whether you feel that this is something that would be beneficial for you. But I can tell you that there's probably nothing you can do coming into this Q4 period that's going to get you a bigger bang for your buck than just going through Rapid 2X and cleaning up all the mess that most of you know is there. Most of you know you've got a messy ad account that isn't optimized. Most of you know you haven't got the perfect creatives. You know you don't have the perfect email marketing. You definitely know you don't have the site is not optimized for conversions and optimized for speed. And Sabir knows how to do all of this stuff better than everybody else. It's simple as this, right? The market has kind of spoken to this already. So if you guys are interested, go to growthbysabir.com/apply. We're starting on November 4th. Which means that obviously you guys would need a relatively quick turnaround here. So booking a call with my team, we'll have a conversation. Worst case scenario, you get on a call, it's not for you, not the end of the world, right? But if we do think it's for you, we'll make you an offer to work with us and we'll get you rock and rolling for Q4. But with that, Sabir, I do have to jump because I actually have a call right now with the brand that wants to work with us.
Thank you, Padraig. Thank you.
Take your Q&A and I'll talk to you after.
Yeah, there are some questions. I'll answer them. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you guys for joining. I appreciate your time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And before we start the Q&A, I would like to thank, Elliott, Phoenix, Sam, Sean McCarthy from Lucky Orange, Phoenix from AdBeacon, Will, Laurenson, all of these guys. They're incredible partners. They do incredible work, and to take the time out to actually share their golden gems in this panel, and I'm very, very thankful. And also Padraig, who's my partner in crime, and you get to speak to him, if you're part of that process. So definitely head over to growthbysabir.com/apply to get into the program. It is time is of the essence because November 4th is like a week and a half from now. So if you want to get in, this is the final one that we're doing this year, and we just added it on just because there was a lot of demand for it. So Elif, you're asking, what if you're not on Shopify and you're just starting out, right? So number one, there are 2 parts to it. Number one, if you're starting out, I would recommend you get on Shopify, because the thing that you think that you're saving some money on, like let's say if you put your site on WooCommerce or WordPress and stuff like that, and you heard Padraig say this, in a passing. At my core, I'm a computer scientist, besides being this revenue growth hacker now, So I've been this growth hacker for 25 years, but I've written millions of lines of code. And I can tell you on the surface platforms like WooCommerce seem free or cheap, right? But the cost of outage, the cost of maintenance, getting a developer, unless you're a developer yourself, the uplift is pretty heavy, and it ends up costing, the total cost of ownership is higher. It's a lot easier to just shove that into like a $79 per month, Shopify plan that helps you scale and gives you access to all these apps that's already integrated. It's a very rich app store that has integrations with a lot of things that just speeds up. Speed to market actually is another thing that's really important. So Shopify affords you that, so that you're not thinking too much about the technology. You're thinking about, like, how do I optimize my business, right? And focused on your products and stuff like that. So the first part of it, I would say, if you're starting out, start out on the right foundation, and Shopify is the right foundation right now, right? In 2024, that would be my number one advice for that. Because the thing is, the upkeep, the ISP, hosting facility, security issues, hacking, and if you look at WordPress is having a gigantic issue right now with their number one partner, WP Engine. So if you don't know about the politics of that, just search for it on WordPress, WP Engine, and you'll see the mess that's going on there. So but there's a lot of issues there. I would not recommend it. I can get rid of all those issues by investing $79 per month, and at least I have a lot of knowns and stability in there. So that's my recommendation to you first. And number two, to straightforward answer your question, or what if you're not on Shopify? these first 3 weeks it works for Shopify, it works for WooCommerce, it works for everybody. It works faster for people who are on Shopify. I can tell you, I'll be very honest with you. So if you have your e-com store on if you have it on something like Squarespace or Magento or something like that, I don't know your technical skill set. I don't know if you can turn those recommendations, that the tasks that are assigned to you in Rapid2X, would you be able to turn them around? With Shopify, we have Rapid2X approved partners that are Shopify dev ninjas. They do this day in, day out, and they do it across all Rapid2Xers that we can recommend and refer you to them. But if you take the tasks and give it to your own in-house Shopify dev guy or gal, right, they should be able to implement those for you. So it's not a requirement for you to hire anyone in our Rapid2X approved partners if you have your own, right? But what I'll also tell you is most people, when they come in to the Rapid2X, the value they find is also the network access that's given to them being part of the Rapid2X, so they find better partners. And running your e-com business, you want to reduce your variables. You already have challenges in your business, right? So you want to reduce those variables. And if I'm telling you I have vetted, and you have heard from all these folks are Rapid2X approved partners, by the way. So Sam, these are all known entities like Sam, Will, Elliott, Phoenix, Sean McCarthy, even the likes of, and we have hundreds of other partners that have been vetted, and we recommend their platforms over others because of the kind of relationship we have with them. And I personally actually test all these things out in order to give them that. And Elif, you have to convince them even more. It's just, yeah, I personally have used Webflow, right? And there's an amazing a YouTuber that actually puts out a lot of Webflow content, looks impressive. I think it's probably the same one that you know of. He even replicated the Apple product page or iPhone page a couple of years ago, right? So Webflow is an amazing platform. It's visually beautiful and stuff like that. But when it comes to e-commerce, Webflow is not an e-commerce platform. It's not. Shopify is built from the ground up to be an e-commerce platform. And the entire ecosystem, go to apps.shopify.com. If you type in any word that's related to selling or buying or anything like that, you will find a whole host of apps that are available. And because of the Rapid2X, we will recommend specific ones that would help you and not hinder your growth. Because there are some apps that are not so great. Let's see. Drew thanked Parig. All right, perfect. So if you guys have any other questions, I love doing Q&A. So I'll stay here with you as long as you want to have any questions. If the questions stop, then we can stop the live workshop and then we're done. So I'll give it another couple of minutes. Let's see if any questions. So don't be shy. You'll be surprised that when you ask a question and you think it's a simple question or an obvious question or anything, you might be surprised there are, and this happened even during this webinar chat. I was noticing like, same with me. I had the same question, right? So you'll be surprised that you jumped into the question and there were 3 other people who are thinking about it, but they didn't even write it down. So definitely put it down. You'll be surprised how many people have the same question. So Vanita says, strategic question for you. We need to increase our prices by 40%. Is this a good time to do it? I haven't yet released the customer increase to our price communication, I guess, right? Quality is super high. We want to be super profitable going forward, cruelty-free handbags, and so on. Okay, so Vanita, so here's the thing, right? You had from January 1st, I don't know when you launched this business, right? Were you still operating? If you can go into the webinar chat and tell me when you founded this company, or did you have at least a runway from the year, right? January through October 15 is the time on the calendar for you to test, learn, optimize, A/B test the hell out of your entire business, every aspect of it, everything, email, paid media, SEO, landing pages, product pages, the title of the product name, the bullets that you're selling, and all that. Pricing is included in that, by the way. Pricing is dimension number 2 in the 8D method, right? It's that's when you have to test it. So I don't know, Vanita, I don't know how big is your portfolio of your products. Typically, what my recommendation is for price testing is you use a tool. By the way, there's a tool called IntelliGems. They do a great job of doing price testing, right? You test it out, and then and for Oram Brothers, the case study that Parik talked about earlier, right, from January. By the way, punchline there, September 9th, we beat all of their 2023 numbers. And September 10th through the end of this year is purely incremental revenue for them. Plus, we improved their net cash flow. It was negative. It's positive 30% now. So it definitely works. And during that process, over the past 9.5 months, we have 100%. We have increased prices during that time. What we actually were very intentional about it, and we tested it. And when you're thinking about price increases does not mean that you're doing it on unit price. You may want to also increase your average order by doing strategic bundling also. So that's another way to increase your price in that aspect. So if you have not done that, when you're entering this period from October 16 through December 31, you heard it from everybody here. Do the predictable things that you have done. You have tested throughout the year, and you know that it works. Those are the things you're moving forward into these 75 days, like October 15th through December 31st, right? So that's my recommendation to you. But if you're part of the Rapid 2X program and you're part of the Beyond Rapid 2X program, we can navigate those waters as we are done with the holiday season. But during the holiday season, we could do some strategic pricing adjustments, right, where it makes sense. But wholesale changes that we want to do, I would recommend doing it starting like December 26th, right? And then starting, or even January 1st. So it feels like, the price increases happened, because of the year change, inflation, recession. There could be a bunch of excuses for that, right? But the thing is, you have to adjust that with the value proposition that you have. Like, why do you think your product is worth more? Right. That you convey through marketing and storytelling. You do it through product optimization, brand positioning. Those need work. And it's not just a price change from $49 to $69. You need to build that foundation properly. And then when you ask for that plus $20 on that example that I just gave, then you have built up your proof in order to ask for the $20 extra for that. So I hope that Vanita's question is funny. Right after that, Drew said that I had I added a question at the very beginning. All right. So if you could just copy and paste it, I would appreciate that, Drew. Elif says, yes, I have come to the conclusion that I should have pushed for Shopify more strongly. Thank you again. By the way, you should change, if your site is not too complicated, probably this weekend, you should be able to move it over to Shopify. They give you the facility. There's a theme store. You can get that moved over unless you're doing very fancy stuff. But if you're a startup, most likely you're not. You want the add to cart functionality with mobile payments, and Shopify gives you Shopify payments also at competitive rates, and they do mobile payments and stuff. As long as you have that and you have a nice theme, at least you can have a store for the holidays that's stable, and then if you're part of the Rapid 2X program, you're going to get all those optimizations. That's going to help you even sell better, and then you can go and do a little bit of a facelift starting January 1st. So hopefully, Elif, that gives you more ammo there and more reasoning. So Drew says we have a simple visual product, art prints. Okay, is that printed arts? And we get amazing engagements to ads, posts, and our site. I'm wondering why the conversion is so low, right? So with art, it's tricky, right? You have to, there are so many variables, right? So as much as I know about art, right? The business of art, right? When it comes to a piece of art, if it's visually appealing that I can put in my living room, or I can put it in a entryway or my office or anything like that, and it looks good, right? Do I really care about the artist? Maybe not, right? But it just looks amazing, and I want to have that piece of art, or especially if it's like printed art that you're replicating, right? Then you have to storytell, especially with art. You want to show it in the context. Is it in an office space? Is it in a conference room? Is it in a bedroom? Is it in a living room or a guest room or something like that? If it's a high end, I'd let it have a high end look to it. There are some AI tools that would take the art that you have done, and you can say what sort of an environment you want to place it in. If you want to do it using AI, for example, so that you want to show those contexts, not make people guess, right? So when you show it, then they say, oh, wow, it fits in the bedroom. It looks lovely, right? They'll buy it, right? Now, the other type of art has to do with the artist, right? The artist is great or up and coming or anything like that. And there is a whole collection of their art in your art store. And if it's their original work and not printed art, then you have to build up that story behind the artist, right? What is their story? Because people, at the end of the day, whether they're buying shampoo or they're buying art or they're buying a car, everybody's buying a story, right? If you tell a compelling story, and if you tell and you show them that this thing that they're looking at should be part of their lives, right? Because not just you're saying it, you're showing it to them, but there's also social proof of other people like them that have done the same thing, right? And that goes into effective storytelling, which is also another dimension of 8D method, right? To tell stories, and especially if it's founder led, Drew, in your case, like Drew, if you are the art connoisseur, and you know about art and the language of art, and you can explain it, then you should become a social media person that actually does these kinds of things, and you can hold Q&A sessions, and so that when you're posting, they know that it's coming from you. It's an authentic place that it's coming from, so that you could start building that personality, the founder personality, for your business, right? So I have Ali says, do you think ads can be effective for original art, right? Before I spend a penny on any paid media channels, right, I need to make sure that the landing page on my site, that's 100% under my control, that it's set up for success, right? Everything that I just said, Ali, and it also applies to Drew there, right? That was a follow-up. That the story needs to be there, right? The context needs to be there. The social proof needs to be there. So if you have those things and it's optimized, and like I said, before I even touch those things, like I said, site speed kills. So regardless of how great your page looks, if the page it does not render quickly under like 1.7 seconds, then it's going to end up hurting your conversion rate. Your ROAS is not going to be great. And what Parik said, look at your landing page. Look at the clicks on your ad and look at the landing page views. That's completely in Meta, right? You can see both of those numbers. When you see those numbers, there's a discrepancy on the Google Analytics side or Shopify Analytics. What would happen from that ad? You will see a huge bounce rate. So before I even get to the conversion, I want to look at how many people just bounced. And typically, site speed being slow is the #1 culprit for the bounce rate to be high, right? First, I would solve that. Then once I solve it, I know that, okay, now my bounce rate was 80%, 90%. That's very typical, by the way, for most of the Shopify stores and stuff like that before they optimize. Once they optimize, they start getting into that 60 to 75% bounce rate, right? That's pretty reasonable because you are testing unqualified traffic to see from those ads to see if they qualify and if they engage, right? You want to increase your chances. So if 100 people showed up right now, if 80 people are bouncing off your site, they're not even looking at the page, right? So let alone how great your page is. So if 80 people are bouncing, now you're dependent on 20 people doing anything on your site, meaning add to cart, engaging for a period of time, session duration, or completing the checkout or going through the checkout process and stuff like that. So, but if that number, the same 100 people showed up, if 60 of them bounced, right, after you did your optimization, now you just double the number of people who are part of the funnel who are further engaging with your brand, right? That's what I would fix first, and then everything else I just said about storytelling and coming up with those building blocks for the world of art or product, whatever you have, right? That's set up properly. I hope I answered both of your questions there, Drew and Ali. I just want to make sure that I have answered. Vanita, I hope I answered your question. All good. Okay. All right. Thank you, Drew. With that, I think if I'll give it a one final call. Thank you, Vanita. Thank you, Drew. So with that, that's my final call. If you have any questions, plug them in. Otherwise, we're done with the live workshop. Thank you for attending this live workshop. All of our content tends to be highly valuable. Definitely head over to growthbysabir.com. Check out all of the content that's on there, And if you are a good fit for the Rapid 2X program that we briefly touched on today, definitely apply to growthbysabir.com/apply. You can go to the site and you can see all the testimonials and everybody else like you, other Shopify and ecom DTC business owners that have gone through this. So it's not us saying it. We have proof points there that from everybody who has gone through the program, how successful their businesses are, and they're very happy with the growth that they're seeing, including now their ROAS and all of the investment they're doing in their business actually starting to pay off. So that's a great thing from varying degrees of businesses, from startup businesses like Drew and Elliott that talked about to businesses that are in the tens of millions of dollars, and they all see great results from it. With that, I want to wish everyone a good luck for your Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales, and hope you make your numbers. And if you are a fit, definitely I'll see you all on the other side of Rapid 2X, so that we can spend 3 weeks to optimize your business, so that as you enter into the Black Friday Cyber Monday weekend and onwards, all the way through to Christmas, you implement all of the strategies. Thank you very much again, and head over to growthbysabir.com, check things out, and if you want to apply, there should be an apply button there to book a call with my team. They'll explain to you what the program is about, but first of all, they'll see if it's a fit for your brand, because we want to make sure that it's the right fit for the right businesses, so we can all win in a big way. Thank you very, very much for joining us, and thank you to all of our partners that joined us today and shared their amazing golden gems. I really appreciate all of you, and I appreciate everyone that attended live. And if you're catching this on a recording, somebody asked about recording. I believe that Parig is going to take care of that, and my team is great at handling that sort of a communication. So you'll see a recording, hopefully. Thank you very much, and have a great holidays and happy holidays. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.